Welcome, everybody. It's the Drinking with Drew show. Sorry, just a smidge late. So, welcome to the Drinking with Drew show. We had some minor issues getting started.
Shocking.
I know. As soon as we go live, it says update settings. So, yeah, we did that. So, forgive us for being 7 minutes late. I am Drew. I am the host of the Drinking with Drew show. Who's got their volume up?
Over there.
Joseph.
Not me.
So, welcome. It is Tuesday. We are back from a week delay. We weren't here last week. Drew had a problem, and Drew was in the emergency room. We'll talk a little bit about that. Tonight, we have Jason Stallworth in studio. We have Pajama Joe and Lusty Laura. We're going to discuss quite a few things on the pamphlet. I doubt we're going to get through all of it unless we do another 6-hour show. I doubt Jason has that in him tonight. But we do have a lot on the pamphlet to talk about because, honestly, we didn't even get through the news that we were supposed to talk about last week. So all that's old news. We have new news, Drew news, all that good stuff. And, yeah, I have a rant in my pants, several BUDERBANGS. So much on the pamphlet. I don't even know where to begin. But we're going to talk a little politics with Trump and his Signal app debate. Iron Maiden's plane is going up for auction, and you can get a piece of the Iron Maiden plane. We have, obviously, the Tesla debate. Is that domestic terrorism? What's your opinion on that? DNA black market. Is your DNA now being for sale? 23andMe customers, beware. They made a mistake on the world population. Apparently, there's a lot more people on this earth than they originally thought there was. China versus Canada. What's going on with those countries? And we're going to talk about it. It's kind of old news, but we are going to touch base on the airport dog death. And there was actually a second dog death in Tampa a few days ago. We'll
that's fucked up.
Smidge,
dude. Yeah.
Talk a smidge
Both
about.
of them are fucked
we don't
up.
want to be a depressing show, but you know. Another episode or segment, sex equals happiness. That's kind of a no-brainer, but hey, it's an article. Bringing back mental institutions, pro or con. Migrant kid scandal and the reoccurring dreams and what they could mean.
Ooh.
So
That's a lot of stuff.
it's a lot of stuff, Joe. I know.
You got 2 hours with me.
I don't know
Or
if
else
we're going to
I'll
get
check
to
it
it.
out.
We got to work really fast.
I think Laura said 3 hours tonight.
Yeah.
Is it-
2.
Well, we'll see.
That's
So-
my limit.
We'll get to it. Let me find all my shit's fucked up right now, so we're going to see if I can get the right little clicker
just
button.
sing the intro yourself.
My name's Drew, and I'm drinking. And now, from the CapsFlorida.com studios in Riverview, Florida, it's the Drinking with Drew show.
Plumber's butt crack looks like boobs.
All right. We are officially here. Let's welcome Jason Stallworth. What's up, Jason?
Dude, what is up?
He has his Jason Stallworth Guitar Academy shirt on, and go to that website. What's the website exactly, Jason? Is it
It's
Jason?
just JasonStallworthGuitarAcademy.com.
Okay.
You can even go to JasonStallworth.com, scroll down, and it'll be there. But yeah, JasonStallworthAcademy.com. A quick shout out to David Bolt, Bollt, for creating this logo. This is not the color version, but he did an amazing job, so I need to give him a shout out on my channel as well. And
Sure.
thank you for our friend RJ for printing these for me.
What do they teach at that website?
Guitar.
They teach you how to drink beer
There you go.
and be a
Guitar.
good person.
the guitar.
Okay. Well, welcome to the show, Jason. He is on the InLawWeTrust.com camera. So, InLawWeTrust.com. If you need a family law attorney in the state of Florida, give Johnny D a call. His website, InLawWeTrust.com. He's an awesome sponsor of the show. He's helped us out, and we appreciate his sponsorship. InLawWeTrust.com. If you need, what's the logo? If you're not getting the D and you need the D,
call the
the D. Johnny D. All right. And we have Pajama Joe in studio. What's up, Pajama Joe? Wearing his siren shirt. How are you doing, Joe?
Good morning.
Now,
See ya.
we were absent last week, and Pajama Joe drove me to the emergency room.
Oh, Joe drove?
Joe drove me to the emergency room. So I was sitting on the computer, and I got lightheaded, started blacking out. My vision started leaving me, and I was seeing stars and all kinds of shit. And I'm like, never happened to me before. So I was like, what the fuck? Text Laura real quick. Text Joe. Yada, yada.
I called Joe because you're like,
However
I'm
it
not
worked
going.
out, I don't know. And so Joe came over, took me to the ER. Here's my rants in my pants for the week, Joe.
Okay. It wasn't my fault.
It wasn't his driving.
No, but you did. Yeah, I mean, you drove hastily to the ER.
Well,
No complaints there.
At the point, he's saying, I'm either having a stroke or a heart attack. And I'm like, I'm going to get this guy there as fast as I fucking can.
Now,
Yeah.
keep in mind, I had a heart attack December 31st.
Yeah,
and I'm
3 months ago.
I'm on medication. Everything seems to be well. I'm doing good. Blah blah blah.
At that point, every minute counts.
And I'm like hit with this out of nowhere, 9:30 a.m. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So Joe gets me to the hospital. I think I'm having a stroke, possibly, a heart attack. I don't know. And what do they require me to do, Joe?
Look at your phone and fill out a bunch of forms on your phone.
Yeah, they check
you
me
serious,
in.
dude?
Yeah, and they're like, well, we need you to check in. And I'm like, what? They're like, go to the computer and check in. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me now?
He gave them his insurance cards and his information. And I'm like, can't you guys just do all this for him? They're like, oh, well, we got this, but he's got to go through and he's got to answer questions and he's got to fill out his
And it was like a
You're at the ER, though.
And he's standing there. He's like, I can't see straight.
Yeah.
I got to look at my phone and like touch these little buttons. And it's like, well, you didn't choose all the options. You have to pick another option. And
So from my heart attack, they have me saved in their system. So they have a kiosk you have to go to. You put your palm scan in there, and they say, okay, we know who you are. Are you this person? Yada yada. Confirm your date of birth. Confirm your address. Confirm your social. Confirm this. Any new information. Yada yada. Why are you here? What are your symptoms? Like all these fucking questions, and then you check in, and then they send you
to triage.
Then they send you a text from that to your phone, and from there you have to click a button that you're there and confirm all the shit that you just put in. And I'm sitting there with Joe. Joe's like, don't you have a system in place? And I'm just like, Joe, I can't even see this shit, man. Like, what's going on?
Like, you're passing out. I mean, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
No, but he's lightheaded. He's got vision issues and he thinks he's having a stroke. Like,
it's ridiculous.
fucking bring him in the back room first. You worry about the paperwork later.
Right.
Yeah.
I was probably there for at least 5-10 minutes.
At least almost 15 minutes before they even took you to triage.
Well, then on Joe and I, because I meet them at the ER because I left work right away. I get there, they're at the ER. The nurse takes him back to do like the blood draw, blood pressure, that kind of stuff. And Joe and I are sitting out there, and all of a sudden we hear stroke alert, ED lobby. And we're like, and we can see everybody in the lobby. Nobody's dropped of a stroke. And I'm like, fuck. So Joe and I run over, and Joe talks to a nurse, and they're like, and asking if this is for Drew. And they're like, and they're like, yeah. And we're like, what the fuck? And so we're like trying to get information because we're thinking he's stroking out
And
in
he's
the back.
sitting in the room right next to us.
Yeah.
I saw his feet.
And like the nurse has to explain to us that that is a signal or whatever that they have to say in order to, I guess, jump a bunch of protocols and allow them to do a lot of tests really quickly. Wow. And I'm like, can you explain that to the family before you do that so they're not thinking that he's stroking out over there and nobody is coming? Like, whenever I hear like stroke alert, heart attack, whatever, I'm thinking like the shit you see on TV, and all of a sudden there's a gurney flying your way because they're picking you up to take you back to wherever. Like, none of that was happening, so we were freaking out, and it took fucking forever.
I was waiting for Dr. Cox to come out and like, well,
Right.
I'm lost on that one, Joe.
Did you watch Scrubs?
Oh, see, no, I didn't watch that.
That was a good medical show because it had all the same information, but it was fun instead of being dramatic. You know?
Yeah,
I apologize. I cannot see the chats tonight. I had to re-log in and do all this shit, and it's not letting me view the chat. So Laura is responsible for the chat.
Yeah, Lisa
tonight.
is in the chat. She says, "Good evening, Miss Lisa," and then she says, "ER equals extra ridiculous," and that is true.
Yep.
So
I think we could say that about American healthcare in general.
Yeah.
So when I chat that, can you see that?
No, because you're still gray. Oh,
Yeah,
there you go. You're there now.
It is there, but I can't see any.
Maybe because you got in after Lisa put those comments in there.
I don't think so. But somebody comment after me so I can see what's going on. But yeah, it was an idiotic situation. But I was in the hospital for 3 days. We missed the show last Tuesday. Everything's good. All my tests were excellent, and the doctor said that my blood work was better than he has ever seen. The nurse said that typically, like the normal like blood panel that they run for people, typically people have like highs and lows, and he said it's been a long time since he's seen anybody that has all of their numbers within the normal range. So that was good. Yeah. So I am here.
Johanna's in the comments too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
I'm not seeing anything. So
no.
I apologize. I'm in my own comments, apparently talking to myself. So
Typical Tuesday.
Typical Tuesday.
Yep. But yeah, that was my Tuesday, and I got out Wednesday, and
just because they weren't reading tests.
That was
in time.
Monday, and you got out Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because you were there 2 nights.
Mm-hmm.
They gave me a 3-day stint, yo. I thought I was going to get out that same day, but apparently they wanted to run a bunch of tests on me and hold me over.
Got to pad the bill.
Blah, blah, blah.
That's why.
Yeah.
They got to pad that bill.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Well, they also wanted to check his carotid arteries and make sure they weren't clogging up. And that's the reason why maybe he wasn't getting oxygen to the brain. They knew he didn't have a stroke based on the CT that they did, but they just wanted to make sure that with his heart being clogged that the carotids weren't either. So,
Can we use my other joke? It was caused because he was stroking.
Oh, Johanna, are you looking at the comments?
No.
She wasn't saying hi to us. She was only saying hi to you, Joe.
Oh.
Thanks, jerk.
Pajama Joe. Yeah.
Look at that shit-eating grin on his face. Him and his number one fan.
He's very happy over there.
He is.
Good job, Joe.
Hey, I come here for free. I should get some attention once in a while.
Well, I told her just to be careful because you might show up at her front door.
True story.
Yep. So what are we drinking tonight, Jason? This is another beer that Steve brought.
Yeah.
Sean.
My bad.
Yeah, Sean brought this beer from Ohio.
John, Steve,
Ohio,
Sam.
Sean.
And it's, you guys ready to try it now, or you want to wait?
Well,
a bit?
I've got a beer, but I want to
Okay.
get
Gold.
the package in here.
You want to do it, Joe?
Dortmunder Gold Lager.
Okay.
Dortmunder.
Never had it. Never heard of it.
Name.
It's from Great Lakes Brewing Company. I think they're up by Cleveland. 5.8%. And it's it looks like an Cleveland, Ohio local beer.
Johanna's requesting a special T-shirt.
She'll never wear it.
It's got to have Joe's face on it.
Okay.
I'm not going to say this would be the first time that was requested, but
Yeah, I wanted one of those too. I get mine first.
Jason's like, I've been obsessed longer.
there was a bunch of guys in college that had printed and made a T-shirt out of my face from one night that I was like really drunk, and I'm like,
Nice.
so they took that picture and I put it on a shirt.
Perfect.
I'm trying to get logged in so I can like participate to people, but it's just giving me fucking bullshit.
Oh, you said
It's
law.
okay.
Whatever. So yeah, we're gonna drink that. Joe, are you gonna slam another beer tonight? For those of you that missed the last show,
Oh man, that was great.
Joe slammed an
He
entire
shotgunned
beer.
it.
Yeah,
So-
It wasn't planned. I mean,
Oh, you just
spontaneous.
okay.
that was almost like a butt chug. I mean, he just like
It
just
was.
went
Yeah.
down. You know, It was a
Do
great
that.
job.
Do that motion again, Jason.
Just like that. Yeah. Oh, don't worry. We've got ding dongs coming up. So
Oh, that's right. I don't know what my password could be. I've entered every fucking possible password, and it's still telling me. Maybe somebody hacked my
Try
shit.
it another way.
Well, I did, and it's still not working.
Well, don't screw up your account because we need to broadcast.
Right.
So leave it alone.
I'll just pay attention.
I'm going to get a verification code that's going to be text to me. Stand by. Oop, I got it.
You know, we don't have time for this shit.
We do.
We're busy.
There's
we got
always,
a lot of things on that list.
There's
that we have to
always
get through.
delays. Okay, let's talk about something on the list.
We got a lot of stuff
Drew
on that
in
list.
the ER.
Stand
Check.
by.
Check.
Joe,
Yes.
That's telling me again. Why is it?
you
What did I do
finally-
wrong? What did I do wrong?
sent news that Drew had not already seen.
sent a nude. Oh, sent
News.
news. Sorry.
Did?
Yeah. Who died? Who did you tell us died?
George Foreman.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
no
did not
way,
know
man.
about that. You notified us.
George Foreman.
I had
You
the
should have
grill back
typically-
in the day.
I know, right? The grills.
Yeah.
Oh, they sucked. It
Everything was so dry.
It cooked the outside and it never cooks the inside. And the more you leave it on to cook the inside, it just fucking
Dries the whole thing out.
tastes like shit.
Yeah.
I actually like when I'm in the apartment, I just left it on like the windowsill and people like take stuff.
Is that like the suck cut on Wayne's World? Yeah, it definitely sucks.
It definitely does suck.
All right.
Just put this on your melon.
Anywho, yeah. So George Foreman.
Yeah.
passed.
George Foreman named all of his sons George.
Even his
Yes,
daughters.
And his daughters. Yeah.
Yes.
They just had different middle names that they went by
Yeah.
or something? Okay.
It was like George Stephen or George
Jefferson.
Gabriella.
I wonder if one of those is curious.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you can go sit in the corner.
Look at he's snorting his herbs.
Now, Jason has explain what that is, Jason, because
It-
a lot of people are probably wondering what the hell you got.
Bath
It is an
salts.
allergy
Right, so,
preventative that's derived from the semen of yaks,
Yes.
actually. And it comes
From
from...
the mountains of
Exactly.
Thailand.
no, it actually it comes from Nepal. It comes from the mountains in Nepal.
Why don't you let Jason explain it?
Yeah. Anyway, so this is called Yadom. It's something you'll see throughout Southeast Asia, and a lot of the bigger cities are polluted, so you'll see a lot of people carrying these around, and it just clears the airways out. I've had some really bad allergies over the past week. I made the mistake of raking the yard, which I'll never do again, and all the pollen, and then mowed the grass after that. Yeah. So, but yeah, we picked this up from the Asian market, the MD market in St. Pete. Really cool Asian market. But it's called Yadom. Ya in Thai is medicine, and Dom means to inhale. So it's exactly
But
that.
what does it do? Like just clear your sinuses and
Yeah.
that's it? Doesn't get you like all...
No,
Because it looks like when you
there's-
see people putting shit in their nose, they're like...
Yeah.
It's like Vicks when you inhale Vicks. It's like the vapors
It's
of
kind of
the
like that. Yeah, it's like Vicks on roids.
Yeah.
Okay. Not illegal.
And it's like loose tea in there looking as opposed to like a
It is, yeah.
instead
It's-
of like
yeah.
a
If you guys can see
ointment
this.
like Vicks is.
See if they can
So
see
how do
this.
they get the yak semen into it, though?
Very large hands.
Yeah.
But that's like
There
a
you go.
net.
Yeah. Well, it's so you're not like snorting the leaves of your nose.
Like how many times do you do that in a day? Because you've done it 50
Not
times.
much.
and-
Yeah, well, because I'm a little congested now. So now this mixed with the hops, you're talking about an organic remedy for just life.
Okay.
But I'll sniff this throughout the day, and we'll take it when we go to Thailand as well, because we get kind of congested being off the plane.
Now does customs see it and they're like, what do we have here?
Oh no!
Right.
Well, I guess in Germany they might like, oh, what is this? But
Here's the problem though, man. Sometimes shit test and they give false positives. Mm-hmm. And they test that and
Well-
it comes back as like some fucking weird drug. And next thing you know, you're serving 7 years in Russia for no...
so that's
Right. God.
that's why I don't even bring any vitamins or supplements or anything, because I take a lot of extra vitamin D. D's over here, D's over there. Bad joke. No, seriously, but like vitamin D and just zinc and all the stuff and candy. So I don't really want to take too much stuff over there, because for that reason. Because you go through these other airports and they're looking through your bags and all that. So yeah, somebody just might not like the way you look. So, okay, we're going to ruin your day.
And you don't have anything to say over there. You're like, fucked. So, yeah.
When we were
Leave it here.
coming back because we fly through Germany this past few times. And so when we're coming back to America, there were a lot of like extra checks, passport checks and all kind of checks. And in Germany, I think we're in Frankfurt. And they even said this is because of America's new policies
I've been to that airport.
going back. So
There's a Junker lounge there.
a Junker lounge?
Junker.
Junker?
Johanna wants to know if there are any side effects to snorting that stuff, like nasal swelling, sinus swelling. I'm sorry.
No,
Wiener-
there's
wiener
nothing.
swelling.
Yeah, it's just wiener smelling. No,
Not smelling, swelling.
you just feel better.
I mean, it
It's-
might cause
It gets you
smelling.
hard.
Sinus swelling.
No, I don't think there's any side effects to this stuff at all.
None that you've experienced.
I tried it before the show started, and then I immediately ran into complications with this starting the show. So
Yeah, little issue there.
Coincidence.
maybe it helped me solve the problem.
Well,
within
it did
3
get you
minutes.
hard, though.
Maybe it ate your brain cells.
No, Joe, it did not.
Well, there you go.
Unfortunately. All right. So I'm at a beer, a little. I'm ready to go. If you guys are to try this beer,
Yeah, why
what
not?
do you guys?
Yeah.
What do you guys
I
at?
can take a little break here. I'm halfway through.
I'll take a. Did you bring the Trulies in?
Yeah, we got Truly's in here.
Okay. I'll take one of those.
You don't want the new beer, Laura?
No, I'll just take a sip of his if I have it.
All right. Hold tight.
You have it. I don't know.
Lisa says side effects is a sudden attraction to yaks.
Sounds good. Yeah, I
Sounds
don't.
about right.
Yakety yak.
My
Don't talk yak.
YouTube is all jacked up. Like it's just frozen over here. So
Well,
I
at
need-
least it's
I'm sure I need
Let
to just
it
restart
playing
my
right,
computer.
Let
and it
it
doesn't seem to
go.
be having any other issues with viewing.
All right. So let me show the can.
You didn't even get Laura's.
He's a bad beer wench.
She just asked you for it. What the fuck is wrong with you? Are the lights making you dizzy or what?
It's
It's
that,
the
it's that
bath
snorty,
salts.
it's that
I mean-
snorty cream. It's the snorty powder.
You know she's going to
Thank you.
retaliate against you and not put the camera on you at all.
That's right. Oh, I'm Joe. There you go, Joe. Chug it.
Hang on here. I gotta get our system right.
Oh, yeah, we want our bubbles, right?
Hey, Nugget.
Oh, there we go.
Great Lakes
I heard
Brewing
him.
Company.
All right. What does it say, Joe? Read it for us, like Casey.
Great Lakes Brewing Company.
Just like that.
Dortmunder Gold Lager. Classic award-winning balance of sweet malt and dry hop flavors. Proudly crafted in Cleveland since 1988. 5.8%.
Okay.
Okay. Little stronger than a Bud.
Yeah.
Still a lager. So let's see how you do.
Oh, yeah.
Smells good.
Joe, don't trick me like that.
What?
Can't trick
No
the bubbles,
trickery,
man.
guys. No trickery.
That's tasty. Definitely a very good gold lager.
Okay.
Yeah. Very flavorful. I like it.
The price of gold is going up, so I mean,
Yeah, $1,800 an ounce.
yep. Supposed to be at 25 by the end of the month.
Yeah.
All right, Jason Stallworth,
I like it.
give it a shrivel.
Speaking of allergies, I got to sneeze. Huh?
No.
It never gets old, does it, guys?
It kind of does, actually.
Now your AI probably knows you do that joke a million times now. It's like, what Jason Stallworth favorite joke? Sneeze.
That was crazy. AI told me about my pun. I always say, oh, yeah, guys, and on that note, no pun intended. And,
Right,
you know,
and I knew that, right?
yeah, I knew that, so it's pretty great. All right, here we go. That's a very, middle of the road beer, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It's not overly, I mean, it's a lager, so they're not overly flavorful.
Like a picnic on a Sunday afternoon type of beer?
I think so. I think that's probably, yeah.
A
Maybe.
NASCAR, let's watch a race in Daytona on top of the RV type of beer?
I'm thinking in the pool talking about demons and the red dots.
okay.
So that
Yeah.
type, all day and all night into the night,
Okay.
that type of beer. It could be that. It's,
Okay.
Just real quick in the comments, Johanna is complimenting your hair being so long, saying it's looking exceptionally shiny. And then Candy's talking about she uses that stuff to clear her sinuses, and Thai people carry it around all day. Keller says that stuff is just a reason for Jason to teabag his nose.
Great, dude.
I think
Little
it's great.
smeller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little sniffer.
Trying to kick the habit, bro.
All right, let me try it. I'm not going to do your joke, Jason.
Oh, come on, man. I was waiting for it, dude.
Oh, that wasn't a sneeze.
It's not even a good joke
That
either.
No.
Of all the jokes, that's not even the funny
I got to
one.
perfect it. I can't do it like Jason.
Don't tell me it's not funny. That hurts my feelings. I mean,
If I lied to you, that should hurt your feelings. I
Right.
like you enough to be honest with you.
I'd rather hear the lie if it's a good one.
Nah,
All right.
Go
it's
ahead.
not a good one.
My
A
own
little
bubbles
strong,
tricked me.
right?
Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
It's possible.
I say Laura's going to say you're wrong.
Not
dude.
guaranteed, but it's
Hang on. I'm
possible.
going to take another little sip.
Yeah,
Wrong.
you gotta let it mellow a bit.
Jason, you as a professional IPA drinker, and I don't think you're tasting it because you're drinking an IPA prior to this.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
has a hint of IPA.
Yeah.
Let's taste again.
It has a hint of IPA.
Go
Let's
ahead.
try it again. Get it nice between the teeth there.
Well, that's what a gold lager tastes like. You know, it's more flavorful.
But you see what I'm tasting, Joe?
Yeah, I taste that.
Hold, please.
Yep. He's got to take a second opinion.
I think a whole can.
Just drink the whole thing. There's another one.
Is that a 4-pack? 6-pack?
A six-pack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get the funnel out.
Now it's not as strong. It's not as strong as a Reef Donkey, but as a not IPA drinker on a regular basis, I drink them not regularly. I can taste a hint of IPA in this beer for sure, without a doubt.
I think everybody should drink IPAs. That stuff will save your soul. They're good. But no, this is hoppier than the normal lager that you might drink. And I don't drink a ton of lagers. I like them, but like the only other lager I drink on a regular basis is Singha, which is a Thai beer. Mm-hmm. And it's got a very unique flavor to it. And you've had Singha before.
Yeah, I like that beer.
Extremely unique flavor, yeah.
Very good.
And it's hard to compare that to anything.
Yeah.
But no, this is good, but it is, a little hoppier than the normal lagers, though. It's pretty good.
Hoppy.
Hey, you're getting close to Easter. Hoppy.
Yeah.
Have it,
Okay. Laura?
Okay.
Oh, you have to, yeah.
Oh, God, this smells so bad. Why do you guys... It just stinks. No.
Why is the camera off
Oh,
of you?
God. I can control that.
No, you're acting out like Candy does.
We're missing all the facial expressions.
Oh, my God. That is so bad.
She's over-exaggerating like my wife does.
No, it's like coating my tongue. It's not leaving.
She's like, oh, my God,
Reminds me of
horrible.
something.
Yeah.
Ugh.
All right. Well, Laura's a no-go.
No.
Okay.
She's down in her Trulia. Is it Truly or Truly?
Truly.
In love with you.
Now, Joe, do we have any of the chocolate cherry cake in there, or is that only in the garage?
I think you might.
All right. But no, I'm just asking.
If not, I can go get it. I think you do have a few, yeah.
I'm just asking.
I
Those
think
are
so.
by far, I think, the best beer we've ever tried on the show. Now, people may disagree in the studio, but that is literally my favorite beer so far.
I mean, it's good, but
Chocolate cherry.
I don't think
Yeah.
I don't like the best,
Besides that, it would be the Dew Claw peanut butter chocolate.
That's
stout.
good, dude.
That was
Yeah.
such a good beer.
We've had some good ones.
I've hated most of them.
Oh, don't talk like that.
Got to adjust the lighting on my forehead.
I hate you, Kenny.
All right, so gonna get into it. Should we do Drew News first or Buderbangs? What do you want to
We
do?
got to go fast because you got
I
so
would
much
say,
stuff on that list.
Just
I
move to
mean-
some Buderbangs.
Yeah, lighten it up because we're going to
Okay.
get heavy in a moment here.
Gonna
Right?
get heavy. Heavy.
Johanna is suggesting that we do an Asian beer series.
We could definitely do that. I'll bring some Asian beers next time.
She suggested to have, let's see, there have to be more than the usuals like Kirin and Ichiban. I'm
Kirin-
saying those are
Those are typical. Yeah, you see those
Ichiban
everywhere.
is Kirin.
Sapporo, you see everywhere.
Kirin and Ichiban.
There's a
Okay.
Lao beer that I could bring, and it's made with rice instead of wheat. So it's
I've
very
had those
interesting.
before.
You've
Well, I've had.
those?
I take that back.
Vodka.
Vodka. I'm thinking vodka. Yeah. Yeah. Never mind. Never mind.
Knew it.
I know.
Called it.
Yeah, Kirin is sort of similar to a Budweiser,
Yeah, it's okay.
like a Kirin Light. Like they have it with at the hibachi place all the time.
Hang on, my I'm not sure why my shit just.
I think Laura would like Singha beer.
Probably not.
No, she won't.
No.
You sure?
Yeah, we're sure.
I
If it has the word
I've
beer in it,
literally hated like 99% of the beers that have been on the show. There have been a few where I'm like, okay, not so bad.
Now, should we
There
bring
hasn't
a
been one where I'd be
cider?
like, oh my God, this is so good.
Joe's a cider drinker.
Should we bring a cider onto the show?
Yeah,
or is
I can do
that-
ciders. Ciders more than anything.
I like ciders. It's time for
It's time for Buderbang.
Okay, this one.
See, I think they could appreciate your hair more now that you don't have the headset on.
Boot or bang? Boot. Bang. Boot. Boot or bang?
She's missing teeth.
I think I'm gonna boot because she's missing teeth.
Why is that?
Why?
Boot or bang?
What is that?
Firm boot.
Are we all banging?
We're banging the car too.
Jay said bang.
Dang.
Brad
Bang the car.
and Keller and Lisa have all said boot.
She was deciding to have pizza for breakfast.
Here we go, because I'm the one that
All right.
bang on that one.
There's Daniel.
We have boot or bang.
I hope those people are all watching the show every week too.
Of course. Okay, a sorority girl.
Bang.
Oh, here we go. Where's my lights?
Oh,
Where's
wasn't my turn
stick?
yet?
No.
Oh.
All right. Sorority girl arrested again only weeks after mugshot went viral.
Yep. Because she was smiling.
Okay.
Oh, you've seen it?
Now that I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Okay. Well, Joe's out.
Joe's out.
I bang anyway.
He's banging. Lily Stewart, a University of Georgia student and member of the Alpha Chi sorority, who
Chi.
gained
Kai.
whatever. I'm Chine. It's
not a
C-H-I.
chai tea.
It's fucking C-H-I is chai.
Kai.
All right? Fuck everybody. All right. Alpha Chi sorority, who gained attention for her smiling mugshot
Maybe it's
earlier
chi.
this month, has
chi.
been arrested once more. According to Athens Clarke County online record, Stewart, 20, just Joe's age, was taken into custody on Sunday on charges of obstructing a law enforcement officer and loitering and prowling. The county's website indicates Stewart was initially booked at 5:26 a.m.
Yep.
You doing loco shit at 5:26 a.m. Following her arrest by the UGA Police Department. So she was arrested, released, and rearrested. That's what I'm getting here. She was released from police custody shortly before 11 a.m. after posting a total bond of $4,000. That's basically it. Joe is banging. Jason
Keller is
Stallworth-
banging in the comments.
So quick shout out, and hopefully he participates. Riff with Cliff is in the
Riff.
chat.
Yeah, he
What's
just
up?
got it in
Yeah.
the chats.
Hey, and congratulations on the new baby,
Yeah.
Cliff. Thank you.
Is the baby like a year old now? Is this like
No, it's what?
No, he's not
Probably what? 3
I'm like,
months
are you
old.
really old?
like a couple of months, 3 months. Yeah,
But in my
months.
defense, is the first time he's been in the chat since having the baby, so I'm officially congratulating
so.
him on the show. I did congratulate him in person at Replay Guitar. So the Riff with Cliff show. Jason does a video with Cliff at Replay. Check that out. And Cliff also has his own YouTube
Riff with
channel,
Cliff, yeah.
Riff with Cliff. So
Great channel,
check
too.
that out. Subscribe to that channel. So, all right.
Lisa is also banging.
Lisa's banging.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is Keller. So is
Yep.
Candy.
So Jason's going to
So
be
is
the only
Joanna.
one booting.
Yeah, because this is, well, here.
I don't
let
think
me,
Candy's responding.
Let me,
She's
no,
not,
Candy didn't respond. Let me just
But
briefly.
Johanna said so too.
Briefly explain why. We just talked about don't stick your wiener in crazy, and that's what this sounds like. Plus, this is like
We didn't agree to that.
Brad's in the comments, or at least if he's in control of the Must Not Kill, he's saying bang too.
Oh, Brad.
Okay.
We don't know where Brad's at. He's at Buc-ee's somewhere in the United States. I don't know.
Is he banging Buc-ee's?
He
Probably.
sent us a photo of him at Buc-ee's before the show started. So he's playing hooky. He skipped out on the show tonight,
bastards.
and he's at a Buc-ee's. It is his birthday a couple days ago. Happy birthday, Brad.
Yay.
And Casey's, that was on the same day.
Actually, Casey and Brad have birthdays on the same day. We brought ding dongs for Brad's birthday, but he's not here to eat them. So,
yeah, this is just for Brad here, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Speaking of bang,
So we're going to eat all the ding dongs. Thanks.
and can
this
we
is thanks
can we
to
show?
my wife here.
Oh, sorry. Can we show in my support of the ding dongs?
Okay. He's got ding
Can
dong.
you
Oh,
get
heck
it out?
yeah, dude,
Your
yeah.
mic is in the way.
Oh yeah, move that thing
Can you
out of the
not
way.
fall on me? There we go. Okay, yeah, ding dongs. We got it. We got it. Yeah.
Cool.
So,
And
ding dongs.
Thanks to wife for these. Wife picked these up. She thought they'd be great for the show. She knew Joe likes ding dongs, and I was going to rub these on his face, but we'll
Yep.
be eating these soon.
Good plan. But Brad, you're missing out. But happy birthday. All right, so Jason's booting. Everybody else is banging.
Of course.
Everybody's banging.
Yeah, everybody's
you are
banging.
literally the only one.
including 3 or 4 people in the chat too.
I'm
Yeah.
sure Candy would actually bang this one too.
Yep, she
All
was.
right,
Yeah.
let's see it. I mean,
That's the second one, I think.
okay. Well, what do you want me to do?
No, I'm just saying there was a first one.
All right,
That's the
there's
first
one.
one that went viral. That one there.
Okay, and then
And
we have
that
that
one's
one.
from her second arrest a couple weeks later. Yeah.
That's why I
I mean-
booted. I kind of
Why?
figured.
What?
You think you're
The
too good for
typical
her?
blonde, ditzy, whatever.
Not
Yeah.
Asian.
What do you mean ditzy? She looks like she's a lawyer. She looks very professional.
She's part
well
of
dressed.
She's part of a tea sorority, chai sorority.
I mean, she
I
doesn't
think
have like.
that's a nursing scrub. It looks like maybe she was like.
There's no
maybe they
gray-
gave that
Those
to
are
her.
those are booking scrubs.
I was gonna say,
But
yeah.
there's
they
no
look like-
grass hanging out of her hair. She doesn't have
She's got all
vomit
of her
on her
teeth,
shirt.
all
you
her
know?
teeth, you know?
Yeah, she's got
I can
teeth.
appreciate those.
She's got
things, too.
Pantene in her hair.
Exactly.
Pantene. I
Yeah.
don't think her hair has ever seen a Pantene.
It's just
in
too
its life.
typical American looking for me, man. I don't know.
Oh, okay. You know,
So what
Says
you're
the
saying?
bald white guy.
says Steve Austin wannabe.
Right.
Oh man, that was low.
I could see Jason and Candy laying in bed together,
No,
and Jason make a promise to
Oh, man.
Candy.
Yeah.
I'll never
Candy,
bang.
I'll
on the
never
show.
bang.
We'll never bang anybody
I'll never
else.
bang on the show.
No, there are certain things that she would definitely approve of, and we'll get to one of those one day, I'm sure.
One day.
One day. All right. Next booter bang. A
By the
woman.
way, everyone, all the
What-
ladies
what-
in the comments were agreeing with it. That's her second mugshot. Like when you were
Right.
showing the wrong one.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Because everybody, I
Right.
think everybody's.
I think
seen this
everybody's
one.
seen it.
Okay, sorry.
What did
All
Cliff say? Did Cliff do this?
No,
Cliff just had a
did not
baby
do it.
and
He's
Yeah.
not allowed to
His
bang.
baby.
Right. Cliff is a smart man.
His wife is watching with him. All right. A woman suspected of fatally stabbing her wife,
Oh,
a California fire captain, last month has been arrested in Mexico. Yolanda Marity, also known as Yolanda
Hey, girl.
was arrested
Just like that.
near a hotel in the Mexican state of Baja, California.
Baja.
Baja. J is pronounced Ja.
Yeah.
It's Jesus,
So
right?
you also ordered your Mojo
Jesus.
pork in the hospital
Okay, that's true. I did order Mojo pork.
instead of Mojo pork.
Yep. Hey, J is pronounced J.
Mojo pork is a good pork,
The state
man. Tube steak.
Citizen Security Force said in a press release Saturday, Yolanda is suspected of fatally stabbing 49-year-old Rebecca Marity inside the couple's home near Romana, California, some 40 miles northeast of San Diego on February 17th.
Lisa's already booting this one.
Booting, okay.
She even did the emoji boot. So
Yeah, she did.
That's powerful.
Right
man.
out the door.
Yeah.
Okay. Marity was a fire captain for the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, known as CAL FIRE. Court papers filed
There's a TV show about
in
Cal Fire.
San Diego County Superior Court alleged stabbed her wife after learning Marity planned to leave her, and that the attack was captured on Ring home security camera. In the
Brad Firm
footage,
booting. So's Kyle.
I think
Kyle's
old
in the studio.
I think Kyle
Kyle
mistyped
Sobel
that. I
from
think he wants
Nasty
to bang that.
Savage.
Yeah.
In the footage, Rebecca Marity is seen being chased across the patio by screaming, "Rolanda, please, I don't want to die." And an arrest warrant stated, responded, "You should have thought about that before," and appeared to stand in front of Marity with a knife in her right hand. According to the warrant, there appeared to be blood on both Marity and back and arms. So that's
Keller,
basically it.
Johanna, and Cliff are all booting.
Everybody's booting.
Everybody's booting.
Can I go first on this? I'm just
You're
going to
gonna
tell you
boot
straight.
anyway.
Oh, no,
We don't have to talk to you.
no.
I don't know why we let him participate.
Why?
At all.
Right.
I'm just going to let you know
Okay, go
that
ahead.
Okay.
this is going to look pretty rough.
You're gonna bang?
No, this is going to look really. This is going to look rough, guys. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be bad. It's going to be really. There's so many reasons why this is going to be so rough.
Nah.
So if anybody bangs, Joe, just be careful.
Some people like to get stabbed.
True.
No, I mean the look is going to be rough. This is
Oh,
going to
you
be,
think it's gonna be a rough look?
Yeah.
Are we Buddha banging the other one that
The dead one? No.
no
After-
next
boy.
does he have the story next to the guy who tried to push his wife off the cliff in Hawaii?
I
we
don't.
talked about that.
I might. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
You're putting the cart before the
Yeah.
horses, Joe.
No.
No, we're gonna boot this one.
Booting.
We
Okay.
got a bubble with a little likey thing floating around the
Like
screen.
anything?
Okay.
Like a little thumbs up in a bubble that floated across the screen. So somebody somebody just did it again.
Who's
I
Yeah,
don't
I saw
know.
it again.
Somebody's
Cool.
banging.
I don't know who's doing it, but we appreciate it.
All right.
Double tap.
Good.
And it was on Joe's head too. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, right in
I
his
didn't see it.
face.
It was like
All
the
right.
thumb was going in the ear, you know.
All right. Well, we got a lot to get to, so let's show the photo.
Wait, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she'd probably make a good quesadilla.
She looks like a cafeteria lady.
It's not as rough as I thought it was going to be, but it's, you know.
I mean, she looks.
He was probably thinking she was going to be the Butch, but the Butch is the fire captain. Hello.
That's true.
Oh, that was the fire captain.
No, that was
it's
the person
lady
that was
who
arrested.
Shanked.
I thought the fire captain was the one that,
No.
that got arrested.
No.
The fire captain was
Oh.
dead, right?
Yeah.
So who's the fire captain now?
Not her.
All right, another Buderbang. Punk band singer embarks on terrorizing spree in Yosemite.
Bang.
Okay.
Boo, don't be fucking with the animals.
It didn't say anything about
terrorizing
animals.
people.
Maybe. We'll see.
Like tourists
Now,
and stuff.
Jason, tell me if you've heard of this band. Lisa, Keller, have you heard of this band? The lead singer of a punk band allegedly embarked on a terrorizing crime spree in Yosemite National Park and the surrounding area, which started when he walked up to a pregnant waitress, put his hands around her stomach, and threatened to take her baby. Anthony Melhoff, 40, of Los Angeles, the frontman of the band Cancer Christ, faces an array of charges, including vandalism, vehicle theft, reckless driving, kidnapping, first-degree burglary, robbery, obstructing an officer, and battery. This man drove all around our county, terrorizing our visitors, community members. Sheriff Jeremy Breeze said in a statement, "I am extremely happy that no one was seriously injured. This man's behavior was erratic and dangerous. There's just a glimpse of what we encountered at any given time. I am proud of the work done by our staff in partnership, blah, 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 blah." Let me stroke my staff's wiener. The sheriff posted Melhoff's photo showing him only in his boxers.
Oh, okay.
Lisa will like that. Laura obviously likes that.
No.
Band spokesman Josh Rosenstein on Tuesday told KTVU that the band will be releasing a statement shortly. According to the sheriff's post, the sheriff said that the saga began on August 21st, about 1:45, in the Buck Meadows area of Malpasa County on Highway 120. And that's when Melhoff told the pregnant waitress in the local restaurant that the spirits led me to you and your baby belongs to me.
Whoa.
And what time is your break? Because I will be waiting for you. Melhoff then allegedly stole several drinks, assaulted another employee of the restaurant, and sped off in a vehicle towards Yosemite National Park. About an hour later, the sheriff began receiving multiple calls about a car chase, kidnapping, assault, stolen vehicles, and other suspicious circumstances near Fish Camp. Yosemite National Park rangers attempted to stop Melhoff on Highway 41 inside Yosemite National Park. Yada, yada. They arrested him.
Okay. We got Kyle saying he's not banging a dude. We got Lisa booting. Brian Kane's in the comments. What's up?
Brian, he's here just for the Iron Maiden plane story.
Of course.
Yes.
And my input is I'm going to say boot because he's obviously on some crazy drugs.
They finally
So
give you
it's
a
probably
dude.
one of those like
Dude?
progressive things. Maybe he looked great 10 years ago, but drugs probably has him looking rough. What?
I can't believe you finally get a dude every once in a while and you're going to boot
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to bang just because I have to support the ladies that support our show.
There you go.
Okay.
Even though Lisa's booting too.
So you're banging
I don't
the-
care about that. I
Is
have
Joe
to
banging the
support.
dude?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Hell yeah.
What are you going to do?
Dudes,
You gonna
chicks,
bang a dude,
we're
Jason?
just skipping Jason
elephants,
altogether on
dogs, who
this.
knows? Anything inside.
I'm with Kyle on this, okay?
All right.
Yeah.
Let's show the
anything
photo.
with a hole in a pulse.
Oh, fuck.
No, he's punk, not metal.
He looks like the
He's
guitar player
punk
from
metal.
Wasp, you know? And he
Now,
calls it
Kyle,
the mean
have
man.
you heard of the band that they mentioned? That's the question. Cancer Christ. I have heard of Cancer Christ.
Really?
Yeah. And I mean, I can Wikipedia them if you want, but
No thanks.
okay. I have heard of them. All right. Booter Bang.
Is that it?
Nope. We are rolling. New Jersey Mayor Gina LaPlaca charged with DUI while driving toddler home from daycare on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, man.
Great.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
Baby's first St. Patty's Day. Yeah.
A New Jersey mayor accused of drunk driving allegedly drove her toddler home from
her own town,
daycare
too.
on St. Patrick's Day, nearly crashing on the road only days after resigning from her job with another town. Lamberton Township leader Gina LaPlaca has been arrested for alleged booze-induced stunt on Monday after she picked up her 2-year-old son from the daycare.
Don't you know who I am?
The 45
Did she pull that?
I don't
Maybe.
know.
The 45-year-old Democrat was allegedly captured. Kyle, Lisa, I did not put that in the, it literally says Democrat. I didn't put that in there. I swear. It says the 45-year-old Democrat was allegedly captured on video by another driver swerving all over the road and nearly crashing into a utility pole. The footage was shared with police who traced the car back to LaPlaca's house where they met the mayor around 6 p.m. Monday. She's day drinking.
Yeah.
Officers also discovered an open container of alcohol. The outlet responded. LaPlaca allegedly admitted to drinking while driving and was put through field sobriety tests.
Wait, hold on. You're telling me they found her at home?
And they did the test. That's in Florida. That would not fly at all.
In Florida, they would be like, "Oh, you made it home,
and then you drank when you got home."
Yeah, but they had a video.
They may be able to get you leaving the scene of a crime or a car accident if they have witnesses that said, "I saw this car, this lady, this is her plate, whatever."
Yeah.
But they can't get you for a DUI in Florida if you get home.
No, but there's even...
And that means you should drive faster.
Drive faster.
But there's even cases where you're in an accident and you have head trauma and they try to give you field sobriety exercises and you have head trauma and you fail them. Like, you can't really do that. So anyways.
Or you're just stupid to begin with.
Yeah. So she was arrested and charged with driving under the influence, according to the outlet.
She was dumb enough to admit it, too.
Probably. Police also charged LaPlaca and with reckless driving, endangering the welfare of a child, of course, and the court records viewed by the Post. She was released with a summons to appear. Not even taken to jail, just a summons. LaPlaca's husband defended his wife, saying she had been struggling with addiction and is getting the needed help, calling on critics to not attack his children's mother. All right, so that's basically it. Pajama Joe, boot or bang?
Bang.
Bang.
We got, let me see the comments really quick. Let's see. Kyle's banging. Johanna wants to know what kind of car she was driving.
Doesn't say.
Because you're going to screw the tailpipe?
We're banging the car, too.
We're banging the car, too.
It comes back.
It does. Full circle, Joe.
And then Keller's booting.
I say things to be funny.
Booting. He would teabag.
Oh.
It's a new one. And Lisa's booting.
Lisa's booting. Now, I'm surprised Lisa didn't hear about this story. It's near her hometown.
Riff with Cliff is booting too.
He is booting. All right. Jason is booting.
I was very close.
Oh, no, you weren't.
No, I was.
Very close, my ass.
Okay, anything with dogs or children, he's not even.
Well, yeah, that the whole 1-year-old whatever threw me off. But like the fact that she's day drinking, I like that. That was pretty cool.
And she holds down a job.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the politician thing.
And the meth thing really does it for him too.
And then the politicians getting favoritism, right?
Okay.
I think he banged a meth head once.
Yes.
All right, let's show it.
Okay.
I mean,
she's young looking. I expected her to look more like the lunch lady.
Look, she's at Hard Rock
Is that
Casino.
her drink right there?
She's at the Hard Rock, Jason.
Yep. Well, that'd be
How
another
do you know
plus.
she's at the Hard Rock?
She's not. I'm just saying.
It just looks like it.
That's Jason's favorite place.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, she's young. Okay.
That'll work.
It's a bang.
Definitely attractive girl, so I missed out.
As always. All right, one more, and then we have to move on. Female Georgia dentist from wealthy coastal enclave accused of killing boyfriend.
Bang. He did something wrong.
A dentist practicing in St. Simons Island, Georgia, is accused of fatally shooting her boyfriend in a home in Gainesville,
Yep.
a suburban town of northeast of Atlanta. The Hall County Sheriff's Office has charged Suzanne Renee Miracle. It's been a miracle.
Is it Miracle or Merkel?
Miracle. Mericle.
We live right here in America.
Miracle. 61 of murder, tampering with evidence, aggravated assault against a spouse or family member, possession of a firearm in the commission of a crime, obstructing or arresting or resisting, driving under the influence, and tragic related charge. That's like a lot of chumped up charges. It's charged with fucking murder.
Throw everything at her
Jesus
and see what
Christ.
sticks.
Authorities with the sheriff's office initially responded to a home off of Bay Ridge Drive in Gainesville at approximately 11:15 a.m. on March 8th. Deputies located an unresponsive man, later identified as 68-year-old David Barron, in a bedroom.
Was that Gainesville, Georgia?
He had been shot in, Georgia. He had been, I think, I don't know, Joe. I can double check if you want me to go back and read it in reverse. All right. He had been shot in the torso, according to the sheriff's office. Officials transported Barron to a nearby hospital where he's pronounced dead. Miracle is accused of shooting Barron with a handgun. The two were in a relationship and lived together at the residence. Miracle was at home when the deputies arrived. The sheriff's office said in a press release, Miracle owns a dental practice in the wealthy coastal Georgia town of St. Simons Island, a popular vacation destination among Georgia locals and out-of-state visitors alike. Miracle Dentistry has a 4.8 star rating on Google.
Ooh.
Go get your teeth pulled.
Not anymore.
On Google with 180 reviews. And the practice slogan is, anything is possible with mirror clay, including murder.
Yeah.
It's probably miracle if that's the slogan.
It's pronounced mirror
I think
clay.
it's a miracle.
It's MERICLE.
I don't know. Whatever. I'm
Try a miracle.
No. I miss seeing Suzanne,
Miracle.
but there was a super nice male doctor there, and she gave me options for fixing the front tooth that always chips, one patron wrote.
We got some Keller banging. We got some.
Riff with fist banging.
Lisa wants to make a boot shirt for Jason.
That's a good idea.
Cliff says dentists are freaky, so bang.
Wow.
Kyle says, older bang.
Ah,
And Lisa's banging too.
good. Getting some
Yeah.
mixed results here.
I say bang because he deserved it. I don't know what he did,
Okay.
but he did.
Pajama Joe.
I'm gonna boot.
Booting.
But I do have to note that if she lives in Gainesville, Georgia, didn't the Must Not Kill play there last year?
Yes.
They did.
That was,
G-Spot
that was
tour.
part of the G-Spot tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remembered. I wasn't there, but I remember.
Jason Stallworth.
Yeah, I'm not being a dentist, dude. They will put
Oh
that
my
movie, The
God.
Dentist, when he pulled all her teeth out. And remember that the movie?
You get your shit done in Thailand.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying this isn't Thailand. This is in America. Miracle America.
This is
right?
Merkel.
Yeah,
All right, let's show the picture. Oh, it's a little blurry, but all right, hang on. Let me see if I can get
Yeah.
some better.
I'm not
pictures
missing
here.
anything.
All right, this is her. No makeup.
Okay. A little rough.
Yeah,
I mean, she
had a
looks
rough
okay.
life, right?
But she's, what, 60 it said?
This is
61.
boot, this
Pretty
is
good for 60.
boot or bang, not boot and marry. Okay, come on.
Yeah.
61.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna kick it out of bed. Come
Hey,
on,
she's got a good retirement plan.
Yeah, she does.
it's true. All right, are we done?
Yep.
Because the dumb thing is, I actually have more.
Yeah, we got a lot.
I have 3 men booter bangs for the ladies, but you know what?
No.
I don't know. All right.
No dudes.
So we're gonna take a short intermission. I'm gonna go pee, and then
break.
we're gonna get into Drew news.
What can we talk about while you're gone?
How about not pulling my headphones off because you're about to kick it? I feel you pulling
Oh
the
no!
cord.
Don't kick it.
Yeah, you're stepping on it. Why would you do that? I literally warned you, and you're still stepping on it.
That's a cool shirt you got there.
Yeah.
Now we're looking at an empty screen.
Free dental cleanings. You don't need dental cleanings if you have no teeth. She shot you in your mouth,
Ouch. Is that what happened? She shot him in the mouth.
chest. They said abdomen.
Ugh. Dental cleanings.
Do.
But yeah, dental care in Thailand is great. I'll say that.
You're not even on camera.
I know.
I don't know. It says it's still streaming, and I see
I think the only thing
Moving
streaming
it
right now
around.
is Drew's streaming right now. So
That is true. He is
You know.
currently making a stream.
Yeah. You can hear it too. Can you guys hear it?
I hope you guys
YouTube?
can.
You
He has
sound-
pretty good
yeah. Power
mics
streams.
in here.
He sounds like a cow. You ever seen a cow pee before in the field? They just sit there and pee
Yes.
for like 5 minutes. You know, it's pretty cool. I think he's all done now. I think he's skipping the hand wash, by the way.
He always does.
Yeah. Oh no. I hope my wife didn't hear that.
Mr. Pee-Pee Hands, you better be watching.
Pee-pee hands. I still don't hear the water in the
Nope,
sink.
I don't either.
Nope.
Lights out.
There is no washing of the hands.
No washing of the hands.
I don't want to know.
Oh, that's great. Pee-pee hands.
Fighting him.
literally washed.
Joe is not even fighting
His hands were just on his dick, and now they're on my face.
God.
But they're washed,
Oh my God.
Why are you moving that?
guys.
That's so great.
I'm gonna switch these out because I want to show Keller's art. This is Keller's. Little mask here. Let's put that away.
Don't make sure it don't fall off.
Keller made that. All right.
Keller made and then painted it.
All right, so can we talk about the pee-pee hands now?
Do we need to put a camera in the pisser?
I think so, man. But I love the YouTube shorts on the Drinking with Drew show about the washing of the hands.
Pee-Pee Hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made that only for Candy.
How does that make you feel, Jason, that he's making a video about touching his pee-pee?
How does it make
And
you
it's for your
feel
wife.
that I?
It's a-
How does it make you
it's-
feel that I cut the grass and get 24,000 views?
That makes me feel pretty horrible, Joe, because I put so much
we
work
got to
into
try
my
to
videos.
beat that this summer though, because
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think Joe needs to get like some funny outfits to wear on his lawnmower when you're doing the videos.
I think he should wear pajamas. I mean, he is Pajama Joe. I think he should have pajamas on now.
That's kind of his normal go-to when he's
Yeah.
doing like yard work and whatever. I just think he needs to like do like an inflatable chicken or something. I don't know, like something funny.
I have a hot like Halloween costumes I can wear, like a hot dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
do
need some
that.
different costumes.
Yeah.
Lisa wants to see your shirt, by the way, Drew. And they want to see Drew's shirt.
What? Hang on.
That's
Huh?
the
Yeah.
Must Not Kill
Joe mentioned
t-shirt.
how
Oh,
cool
yeah.
the
We're
shirt
wearing the
was.
Stand up.
must not kill shirt.
It's junk food patriotism.
So stand up.
nothing on
There's
the
nothing
back.
on the backs.
But
Show the front.
Don't show your wiener. There you go.
Okay. All right. Let's get this started. It is time for Drew News. Drew News. Drew News. Drew News. Drew News. We're going to keep it going until Jason plays his solo.
Thank you.
So, for those that don't know, that's Brad Mader of Must Not Kill and Jason Stallworth put together a little Drew News.
And now it's time
We had a lot of fun
for the
doing that.
most trusted voice in
Hang
podcast
on.
news in the lower Riverview area.
Well, I'm trying to get.
Lower review, is that what it is?
I don't know what
Trusted
goes on.
voice in news.
Hang on, Brad.
Journalism.
That's great, dude.
What are you?
Because for whatever reason, when I answer the phone, it kicks me off the Bluetooth.
Don't
Is
answer
Brad
the phone.
calling in?
You're not selecting the right Bluetooth.
Don't answer the
I
phone.
am. Hang on.
It's still broadcasting in the garage.
Laura, is Drew pressing the wrong
Probably.
buttons? Is he?
Brad, can you hear me? See, but he's not in. He's not
Because
there.
you're broadcasting in the garage.
Did I just fix
There we
it?
go.
Did I just fix it?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I did. Say hi, Brad.
Hi, Brad.
There's Brad.
What's going on, Brad?
Did you buy some beaver nuggets?
Is this the drinking and stroking with Drew, or
Yes.
is this
It's-
the name of this
yeah,
fucking
it's-
show?
Drinking with Joe, drinking with Drew.
Stroking
Well-
causes strokes.
My doctor said no more drinking with Drew. We're going to call it caffeinated with Carlton.
Oh,
And we're just going to drink.
Oh,
We're just going to
yeah.
drink coffee in the morning.
Lattes.
Woo! That sounds riveting.
But yeah, where are you at?
I'm heading towards Cary, North Carolina.
Cary King?
Oh, so
Yeah,
he's
Cary
at.
King.
So he went to the one in South Carolina then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that I go to every year.
So there probably
Maybe
are
by
drinking with
name.
Drew stickers everywhere.
We are talking about Buc-ee's, by the way.
There were a few there.
Now, what are you doing? Just going on. Usually you fly when you go on random places, but now you're driving?
Well, my mother-in-law came down for the last 2 months, and my wife and her drove down because she has an elderly dog. So we're driving them back up. But didn't realize how tiny her car was, so I'm actually following them
What?
in my car
Nice.
because we have so much shit that she brought down and bought while she was here that they
Womp,
couldn't
womp,
fit it on
womp.
their car.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I don't care. I've done this drive just as much as Joe has, I think, so I don't mind it. But
Okay.
yeah, that's where we're heading right now because we have some family in Cary, so we're gonna hang there for the night, maybe for a day or two, and head up to New York.
Wow. All right. Say hello to Lisa while you're up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. Where's she at?
Manhattan,
Manhattan.
Upper East
Oh,
Side.
man, yeah.
Yep. Go to
I'm not that-
go to B&H Photo while you're up there and buy me a camera.
Oh, sure. How many you need? A dozen or so?
I just need one. I
Tell us
literally need one more.
While
Tell
you're
us if
down
you
there,
see
Brad.
any drinking with Drew stickers.
Right.
I still need to get.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I just need one more camera, Brad. But yeah, man, you gonna be back next week?
No, I'm gonna be gone for at least 2 weeks.
About
Dude,
that.
Oh,
Nice.
But I do call in
You do call
because
in.
I
Okay.
care.
All right.
I care. I
All
want
right.
to make sure my seat's warm when I get back.
Joe's pooping in it right now.
Cool. Spread those ass cheeks.
Yep. Spread 'em, Joe.
He's
Spread
spreading
'em.
them, all right. Yeah.
All right.
He's shaking them, not spreading them.
We're going to get to some Drew
So you
news.
feel-
What?
Are you feeling better?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was feeling better the night or even the afternoon it happened. It was just literally, I took my meds and they over-medicated me, and my blood pressure was crashing. So they reduced my meds and I'm good. But yeah, I was feeling better. I was hoping to get released that same day. And they're like, no, we're going to watch you. And then we're going to watch you. And then we're going to watch you. And it was 3 days of them watching me and doing shit. So
changing your meds, did it help with your ED?
not yet. I'm still waiting on that. We'll talk about it when it pops up, Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, he disappeared again. Hang on.
Right.
Jesus.
You there?
Yes,
Okay. You disappeared for a minute.
I disappear.
Yep.
But yeah, it happens to me, especially on the blood meds, or the blood pressure meds. I had to adjust them, so yeah, same kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like, fucking,
Sucks. It's all new to me, man.
It's fun.
It's all new to me. So I'm just going to drink a couple beers and forget about it.
He's
Yeah,
bulletproof.
Yep.
And speaking of
Well,
which,
that,
I'm going to grab another one of these. What's that?
I like that Dragon's Milk red beer.
Dude, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that at Publix today, but I knew you weren't going to be on the
That's
show,
good.
so I didn't get it. Hopefully it's there next week or the week after, but I think that's going to be a regular release from Dragon's Milk.
It's actually really good, man.
Yeah.
I haven't had a red beer in a long time, but that was smooth.
It's an actual red
That's why
beer.
Yeah, it matches your goatee.
That's why I like it.
Yeah.
I like to color coordinate when I'm drinking, so
Yeah. It
Jesus.
looks good.
Red Stripe is red beer.
Red Stripe. All right, we're going to get
By
into
the
some
beach.
we're going to get into some
Boy.
Drew news, so hopefully you hang out and listen to us while you're driving and you don't crash.
That's the only reason I'm listening to you right now.
All right, we're gonna keep you
it's
awake.
It's a long ride.
Mm-hmm. We'll keep you awake. Your sound is your Wi-Fi or whatever the fuck you're on is breaking in and out. So
Oh, great.
yep. But we'll
I'll
catch
let
up
you
with
go
you.
then.
We'll see you when you get
You gonna
back.
hang up on me?
Yep.
Yes.
Or you let me go?
Yeah, we got a lot of things to get to.
Oh my
Why do you leave me? I feel so alone.
It's cold. It's dark. That's how I felt Monday.
Why?
All right. We'll see you when you get back. Happy
Bye,
birthday.
guys.
Happy
Have a good
birthday.
time.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday.
to you. Happy birthday to you.
Yay, yay. Save me the Twinkies or the whatever you
The
want.
ding dongs.
The ding. Well, we've always got a ding dong for you when you're ready.
Well, keep them in the freezer.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they'll be like hockey pucks then.
Yep.
Because
Oh,
I don't
Reese's.
eat them anyhow. I'm just going to throw them at people.
Oh, perfect.
All right. We'll catch you.
All right, brother.
See ya.
Yep, be good. Later.
Brad Mater. Whoa. Hey, there's a little Drew news song that's keeping on going. All right. Drew news. We have a lot on the pamphlet.
You got to power through
You
these.
have 50 minutes with me.
Well, what we're going to do is
15 is all
don't
it
go
takes.
anywhere. I'm ending this segment. I'm going to stop streaming. Not streaming. I'm not going to stop streaming. I'm just going to stop the audio here. Okay. So,
I thought you did that when you peed.
no, I did not. You guys are still recording. So, for those listening on the audio podcast,
Hold your breath.
stay tuned for the second segment. This is a long segment, so this is the first segment of 2. All right. For those who are going to be paying attention, we just started the recording again.
Yay.
All right. So this is the second segment of the show, and we are back. Now,
Great.
we are going to jump right into Drew news. Jason Stallworth is here with us, Pajama Joe, Lusty Laura. We're going to jump into some Drew news. A lot of controversial Drew news. I don't try to get too crazy political, but there are a couple political stories on here, and we're going to see what people think in the audience.
What did you say? Kyle's a Republican? Is that what you said earlier?
Yes. Yes, it did. So, apparently, okay, there was a strike on Yemen last week.
Yep.
And in doing so, Trump and his team apparently discussed the strike on a very well-known app called Signal. Now, Signal is known throughout the average person's world of being an app that you can communicate on that is private. It can't be infiltrated or searched via subpoena. Like, there's certain reasons why people think they use Signal. Now, as a private investigator, I have never worked a case where Signal transcripts were subpoenaed and provided. That's just my personal experience. I've never met an attorney that's told me that they use Signal data in a case. So at what level is Signal's data encrypted and not provided to various agencies? This is strictly my opinion and my opinion only. To my knowledge, I've never heard of Signal being used against somebody in a court of law. Period. Okay. Personal experience. Can it be accessed by other agencies, other governments? I would say it's possible. I'm sure there's a way to do that. Okay.
Same as WhatsApp, though, right?
No.
No.
I don't have either, so I have no clue.
I never heard of Signal. so I have no
WhatsApp.
clue.
Yeah, me neither.
And I'm not a computer whiz, but WhatsApp actually uses a phone number attached to their
Yes.
server.
Yes.
Okay, so if I,
but
if
it's
I,
also end-to-end encrypted as well, though.
right, but I don't know, Joe.
Okay.
I've never worked a case where WhatsApp data has been used against somebody either. Okay. So, but Signal has the option where it auto deletes. So you can put in there that you want your messages auto deleted within 5 minutes, an hour.
Snapchat.
Sure.
Snapchat is like set, I think, at 24 hours and then it deletes. Okay. But it also tells you if somebody screenshots.
Right.
IG stories, 24 hours.
But those probably can be
Just saying.
like pulled somehow.
Yeah. There's like, if you
can delete
the
it.
thing is, if you subpoena a company, are they going to supply their records? Facebook will, like Google will. It's complicated, but they will.
Where is Will, by the way?
I know.
You know.
We have not
Sorry,
heard from
that's
Will.
fine.
Will James. So this is just my personal experience. I've never seen
Okay, but does
Signal.
that change the point of the story, though? I don't think it does.
Not really. Now, here's the thing. My understanding, and I've seen a ton of news stories on this from both CNN, Fox, MSNBC, different stories. A lot of people saying it was an extremely ignorant thing to do by the president and his staff. Apparently, they had a reporter on the group chat that somehow got invited that they didn't know about. And this reporter has historically been anti-Trump. And of course, he released this and kind of made the story blow up.
Well, there's a few details there that are believable and some that are a little questionable. So first, he got invited on Tuesday, and the chat started on Tuesday, and he didn't remove himself from the chat until Sunday or Monday.
Right.
Why would you remove yourself from that gold mine?
Because you don't have security clearance and you knowingly are a part of a
correct.
conversation that is obviously not intended for you to be on.
Yes.
So it's kind of like you listening to a call and you
But
know
it's not like
you shouldn't be on there.
It's not like I hacked the conversation
Correct.
and added myself to it.
But if you-
like they added me, so why am I going to be like? I'm not
Because
going to look the other way.
it's kind of like if the bank accidentally deposits $50,000 into
If you
your
keep
account,
it and don't
Oh,
say
yeah.
anything,
you're going to be
full.
convicted of theft if you don't turn that in.
If I leave it in my account and don't touch it, and it takes them 3 weeks to figure out where it is, that's not my fault.
you
I
didn't
didn't touch
know-
it.
Agreed. Yeah, so
If
that's
you
something
didn't
that,
know, but if you knowingly knew it and kept it, that's a different story.
But keeping it
How do you prove
and
you know
not
or not?
using it, I think, are
That's-
two different things too. Like I'm going to leave
Alright,
it there.
well,
I'm going to let it earn that interest for
the
those few
story,
days,
the
right?
story, the story was he thought it could have been disinformation or some sort of spoof or something. But then once the details of what was discussed in the chat actually happened and the bombing happened on Saturday, he's like, oh, wait a second. That stuff I just read, it actually happened today or yesterday. So then he goes and says, must be real. Let me take myself out of this and report it. So he said he removed himself and then said, just so you guys know, I don't belong here and you shouldn't have said this with me here. So
Right.
he
And-
self-reported that.
And Kyle, I don't know when you got in, but I cannot read chats right now. I can steal
Yeah.
Laura's phone if she'll
Yeah,
let
he
me
says
read
that
it.
it's not. It says classified is not allowed on there regardless.
Right. So,
Yeah, so-
and that's the
And all the
argument.
killer says drug dealers use Signal.
But regardless of whether or
Right.
not
Bad killer.
there was a journalist in that chat they shouldn't have had it on there at all, which
Right.
means either they were using their personal devices, which they're not supposed to do, or they allowed them to install an unapproved app on their government
here's
devices.
what happened, though. Here's what happened. When they discussed the situation
I'm on the camera, by the way.
on you what?
Looking at me.
Sorry.
She's slacking. When they discussed the situation and realized they had been talking a little in too much detail, they basically said, "Let's go to I don't know how they worded it, but it was something like, let's go to the higher level of communication."
Yeah,
which
because they have a private secure communication
Right,
specifically
which
for government
it
employees.
should have been on that to begin with.
Everything should be on that to
Right.
begin with.
So, yes. Now, here's the thing, and people correct me. I'm just going back from history. Hillary apparently discussed a lot of information on her phones too, and she instructed people to smash their phones with hammers.
She had a private server that could monitored all that stuff, and it was off of the government's system.
All right, but I don't. Okay, but it was information that was not supposed to be
Correct.
Whatever it was.
None of it should have been none of that business should be taking place outside of their closed net system.
So, and again, me not being a political person, I think politicians are idiots. They're gonna do shit, whatever. But what do they want done with this? They want the one guy fired who's apparently in charge of the security team or however
You're fired.
National Security Advisor.
which Trump was always bitching because Biden wasn't firing enough people. And he's like, this guy, he did XYZ and he hasn't been fired. But so people are slamming Trump because why aren't you firing this guy? Because he is the one responsible for this group chat. Now they're saying, well, it was an intern that set it up. Could it be an intern that's kind of on the inside anti-Trump? And he's like, hey, I'm going to put this reporter in here.
No,
Maybe,
because it was the National Security Advisor that created the group.
No, they're saying it was one of a staff.
Was it?
A staffer.
Oh,
They're probably just saying that to save this guy's save face.
But
Pretty much.
regardless, if it's on my team, everything comes through me.
Yeah.
I'm responsible for my team, regardless
that.
of whether I did it or
Right.
someone else.
Right.
We always said that in my old
It's
job.
always been the way I operate. If something goes wrong on my team, the buck
Rolls up
stops
to
with
you.
me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm
Right.
not going to say what company I work for, but I am not allowed to communicate any business activity on a personal device.
Right.
If I'm late for work, I can text an employee and say, "Hey, I'm going to be late. Can you handle this meeting?"
I've been at the Drinking
But
with
I
Drew show
cannot-
way too late. I can't make it.
I cannot give, specific details. And if someone, hey, can you get on a call? Yes, I can get on a call. Then I get on and talk about it. But they cannot send me, we need to talk about this, 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 and this. That's not allowed.
Yeah.
We have a very, very strict social media policy. Not even social media, but communications policy.
Right. But you're talking about a war strike.
It doesn't
And,
matter
like,
what it is.
At what level, to me,
Every single
You're talking
communication
about-
between government employees should be on their
For sure.
restricted
Absolutely.
thing.
And I can
Absolutely.
vouch for what Joe's talking
Yes.
about because I used to. We're not going to mention the
I know,
company,
but it's even
I
gotten
worked
more
with
strict
Joe.
since you left
Oh, I'm sure, and
because of the more technologies that are out there.
Yeah, there's more risk out there, but we were very tight. No pun intended, but we were very tight. Sorry, guys, little joke, but no, we were very tight on everything. Right? It was just you couldn't be anywhere out of line. So I'm very surprised to hear stuff like this in our government. I don't care what side it's on.
They should not
Been on
have
both,
any
but-
communication
But-
between between people of that level. It's like if Donald Trump goes and texts Putin with his own cell phone, that would be not allowed at all.
Right.
That has to literally go through the high secure clearance.
Well,
system.
here's the
Why
question:
even
where are all of these individuals that were on the group chat?
they're his.
Don't they
They're-
all
they're-
work in the White House anyway? Why aren't they in some type of
all the White House, the Pentagon, they're all in the DC
But
area.
they're right. So why don't they have just?
Because this is
Why don't they just all get together and be like, we're gonna fucking blow up a country or whatever the hell they did?
this
Get
is
together.
chat
You have to-
over a 5-day span.
I just feel like there should be one central location where it's
Well,
in
that's the
person, so there's
situation
nothing in
room.
writing, especially if it's not on a
that's
secure
like
server.
that's like when something's happening.
The situation
but there's
room is like
conversations about
one
everything
room
going
where
on.
everything's secure. That
Yeah.
you go in,
That's
and
what I'm talking
leave your
about.
phones outside. That kind of
It's
thing.
called a skiff.
Sure. So
What he said.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
dumb. I don't know what's going to happen. It's whatever, but definitely should not have happened. So
I bet the
100%.
reporter had the same first name as somebody else who was supposed to be on the chat. and they just added them by accident.
So Kyle said, I was a counterintelligence special agent and case officer. This group should have known better. Lisa says they should have just posted in the Drinking with Drew chat. I agree with that, Lisa.
That's
Then
just
how many other
do.
conversations are taking place off of the systems that just never get reported because reporters weren't included?
Yeah. I'm sure there's a
But
lot
like
of that.
that's the thing. Is like
Decades of that.
you allow that to happen. Eventually, mistakes are going to happen, and that's why
So,
you can't.
Riff with
Just
Cliff.
think.
He said you'd think they'd have a way more secure than that to allow a slip up. And I agree. I'm sure they do. They just didn't use it.
But
It's Kyle again. He said if that happened at my old job, there would have been several people fired, and that's true. And that's kind of like you have people at this upper echelon doing shit. Now they're they're blaming it on the staffer, but again, it's like they should have known better. It is what it is.
Well,
But
I think the problem with like governments in general, not just U.S. government, but all Western governments, is the politicians get to a point where they can just do whatever the hell they want. And this is both right and left. I'm very much, I don't know, you call me independent, whatever you want, but they get to do it. And we experienced this with COVID. They did whatever the hell they wanted to do. Let's see how much power we really have, right?
right, they
So
experimented with policies and laws, and
It's been a huge overstep.
Yeah.
The government was not supposed to be this big. This was never the intent of the forefathers.
right. All right, moving on.
Moving on up.
Tesla vandalism. Is it vandalism or domestic terrorism?
I got a problem with this.
Go ahead.
Huge problem.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, yes, it's bad. You're destroying cars or whatever. You're destroying cars of that people that are completely unrelated to what you're fighting about or you're complaining about. So it's some guy down the street that bought a car 4 years ago.
Right.
Now you're mad at him. But I understand. The situation itself is wrong. You shouldn't be destroying people's property regardless. But when a single person comes out and labels them domestic terrorism or domestic terrorists, and that same person just went and pardoned all the people that attacked the Capitol building, I have a serious problem with that. Because they were patriots. They were good people.
Preach.
And you know my feeling that the moment they broke through that door, the moment they entered the building that they should not have been there, they should have been labeled treason.
Well,
And that is literally a physical attack against our government, which by definition itself is treason right there. And you
here's
give them
the
a
problem.
pardon.
Here's the problem with the situation, and I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm just telling you the facts. And depending on who you talk to and what reports you read and conspiracy theories you believe in, there were a lot of people in that crowd who were put there, and allegedly FBI agents who incited that whole situation. I'm not saying I believe that. I'm just telling you that's a story that has come to fruition for whatever reason.
Here's my thing about like inciting violence. Okay, sure.
You still went along with it.
Thank you.
No, but
Yes.
here's the thing.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say. You can say, oh, they planted people in there to like rev up everybody's emotions and kind of get them going. But the fact is, those people fell for it. They literally plant bikes on the corners, like local little like PD people trying to get bike thefts. They'll put a fucking bike.
A bait car?
Yeah, and a bait, anything, and be
To
like,
catch a predator?
you fucking stole it. Sorry, it's your own fault for being stupid. You can
Well,
say they baited you, whatever, but you did it. So you should do the crime.
But every one of those should have been labeled a treason.
Yes.
But because he gave them a pardon, I disagree with it. But I see this like complete opposite. If you give people like that a pardon, how do you go and take this, which I see is not even as bad, and call that domestic terrorism? Again, it's not politics. It has nothing to do with my political leanings.
I agree.
Because I was raised Republican.
I'm not saying it's political or not. I'm just telling you.
Now,
I'm just telling you what
can't
has been said. And
I know.
again, Kyle says that's untrue. I'm just saying what's been reported, where they see somebody's photo or face in the crowd and they match it up to like an agent, whatever. I don't know. And honestly, it could have been an FBI agent that was there to protest the Capitol. Who knows?
I think Kyle was talking about the planting people as false.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
But think of just this current situation. If I go and blow up a car, do you think that's better, like worse, than breaking into the Capitol building? I mean, yeah, it's bad.
Well,
but would you consider that domestic terrorism when this is not considered treason?
Here's how many actual Teslas have been damaged?
There's protests and stuff all across the country. They're like attacking the dealerships and stuff.
Oh, jeez.
But like, I feel like I don't hear that there's like a ton of them, and it's like maybe 100 cars.
The funny part is if Elon Musk had nothing to do with Doge and Trump right now, then Trump would be celebrating attacking Teslas because he is completely anti-electric vehicle.
Yeah, well now Trump is sitting in the fucking Tesla in front of the White House.
But he's the one who wanted to try to get rid of EVs to support.
Well, I don't think he was ever trying to get rid of them. He was just not trying to mandate that everybody get an EV by 2035.
That was the big thing, the mandate.
When they started
but there was no
mandating,
EV mandate.
Yes, there was.
It wasn't. It was an emissions mandate.
Well, California had mandates put out by specific dates.
Okay. Why does Trump care? He doesn't even live in California.
But it just goes to show that you're trying to mandate an EV setup when they don't even have.
Hold on.
Can I just? He wants to control people's vehicles and what they drive. You can drive gas all you want. He wants people to have a choice in that, but he doesn't want women to have a choice in what they do with their own bodies. Just saying. Kind of sounds backwards to me.
That's where Republicans are losing. So you have two issues, okay? Republicans lose a lot of their gusto when they start preaching religion.
Oh, yeah.
And then
definitely.
Democrats start losing a lot of their gusto when they start preaching, I want men to compete against a 20-year-old female playing dodgeball.
Here's my thinking. When they bring religion into it, and my God says that we should cherish every life, even when it starts in the womb, all that, that's when you bring out the loons.
But then they're the ones that want to launch rockets.
Religion into politics, then you have to get down to just the legal side of it and not, what does your Bible say? What is your religion? Because all religions are different. But when you bring in religion, that's when the crazies come out, and that's when shit hits the fan, in my opinion. So take religion out of it and just have the fucking legal side of it. Yep. I don't care what your Bible says. I'm not asking you what you want to do with your body. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. If you want to go by what your God says or your spiritual leader, whatever that is, by all means, do that.
That was separation between church and state, right? And
but who's the one that was yelling about that on the chats about, that's not what that meant. That's not what it said. I don't fucking know. Don't tell me what to do with my uterus, okay? Just saying.
And that's good, Jason.
No, I think there's I'm with Laura 100% on that. I mean, if
he's just looking for more camera time.
But if right, look at my face. Look at that. I have been using the lotion that my wife bought me, so hopefully that's shiny and pretty and all that good stuff. But anyway, so no, I think there's a bigger thing above what we can see, and that's controlling this with the narratives and such. And I think we're bickering against each other, and that's exactly where the power, or whatever you want to call it, wants us to be, right? That's exactly where they want us to be. As long as we're fighting each other, then we're not really paying attention to what's really going on. So we're going to talk about all this stuff.
Ooh, jingle keys. There
are some other countries that were considered third world years ago or whatever. They're seeing what's going on in the West. And I'm not talking about just America, but Canada as well, the UK, a lot of stuff. The European countries going through the same thing we're going through, right? But they're starting to really work on their own country and their infrastructure, and they're attracting a lot of people out. I watch this guy sometimes. I'm not wealthy enough to do this, but he's called the Nomad Capitalist, and his slogan is "Go where you're treated best." He actually renounced his U.S. citizenship because he was tired of America trying to take his money and taxation and all this other shit, right? So he left, and he's got citizenships in multiple countries now. You can do that. So it's kind of, I think they have us bickering against one another, and we're all losing while we're doing that. Because nobody's ever going to agree. Nobody's ever going to, okay, you're right, I'm wrong. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Russia and China and Even North Korea, they want us as divided as possible.
They will never have to fire any missiles to
We're
us
gonna
to
take
win.
ourselves
We'll
down.
destroy ourselves.
Right.
And we're already there. We're already arguing about dumb shit that you can't change any of this.
Right.
You're not going to change it. I think the only hope our country would ever really have, and just my opinion, I don't know anything because I'm whatever, but I think if we pulled our head out of our political party's assholes and went independent, we'd probably be much better off.
Right.
Just do what's best for your country, your citizens. Put them first. Do what's best.
Well, the first problem is Republicans want to throw religion into everything.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And that's just asinine. They need to fucking get rid of that mentality. And Democrats are just really, they're not the Democrats of the 90s and 2000s.
The Bill Clinton Democrats, remember those?
Yeah. They're really getting to the point where they're socialist on a level of people are turned off by it, and
It doesn't work though.
you had the
we
Me
know
Too
this.
movement where you had, okay, Democrats are pushing for Me Too, women's rights. But then 10 years later, they're saying, well, we want this 30-year-old man to compete against women and take the gold because he's saying he's a woman. That's where people hit the brakes and they're like, should we do that? Like they questioned it.
I don't support that one either, though.
It's really weird how they are supporting Hamas, who is anti-Jew, but yet saying I'm anti-Nazi. You can't confuse people like that. So if you're out there supporting Hamas and Palestine and saying we're for Palestine, but you're a fucking Nazi because you're a Republican, but then Hamas is at protests flashing Nazi flags, people are going to hit the brakes and be like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? Because I have a lot of Jewish friends who were Democrats, and now they're like, well, why are my Democratic friends at a protest with Palestine when they just threatened my kid in school? It doesn't make sense. So can we just pull ourselves out of our asses and make sense, please?
There we go.
That's all I'm saying.
I like that. Pull your head out of your political party's ass. That's the slogan.
Yeah.
Learn to think for yourself for a change, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to. Too many people are like, well, my political party says this, but I kind of lean over here towards some things too. But if I can't say anything, because then I'll be ousted, right? Just think for yourself.
Well, I've always had problems with this passed along party lines or failed along party lines.
Right.
Does that mean like every Republican believes this stance on abortion, this stance on capital punishment, this stance on this like you can't just. Otherwise, why do we even need you there? You just vote the way the party votes. You're supposed to be an independent thinker to the values of the people that you represent. And maybe Georgia, community is different than North Dakota community, but you can't just be blanket, oh, I'm a Republican, I have to all vote Republican. Like I don't get it.
Well, unfortunately, we're a two-party system.
Yeah, but I mean, just because you're a two-party system doesn't mean every Republican's going to vote the same way on this issue, and every Democrat's
But
going to vote
at
the
the
same way.
end of that 4-year term, you're required to vote on that two-party system, and that's where we as a people fail, because that's what we are being required to do at the end of that 4 years, is to, no matter what kind of lunacy those two parties are representing, we have to pick one or the other.
I think we've let our government gain too much control on both sides of the fence, and then we're experiencing that now. I think over the decades, we've let government become too big, and it's overstepped, it's overreached in so many ways. And if you look at some of the other countries, if you study some of the other smaller countries that are giving their people more freedoms, it's working in those areas. It's working in those countries. There's a lot of other attractive countries they're attracting people, especially wealthy people.
Be careful what you say. It might sound un-American.
Well, maybe so. I might get shot on the way out here, right? You're not American, boy. You're
I think we are getting so political
Kyle
that
said,
we are going into a direction you said you never would.
No,
Right.
Well, Kyle said, pull your head out of your fourth point of contact.
Yeah, there we go.
So,
And that's
right.
that's a very good point, though, right?
No, yeah, it is. I mean, all right, we're going to move on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You boys aren't American, are you? I like that joke.
Raised Republican, now a proud independent.
I'm a proud independent. I'm registered
Yep.
independent, so
So am I.
I support Druidism.
yeah.
So please be a Druidism. All right. So do you want to own a part of Iron Maiden's airplane?
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
No.
I mean, I love
Now,
the
you're talking
concept
about
of
an
Maiden,
actual
but
part of it, or
Yeah.
you're talking about like a
No.
fractional share ownership?
No,
No,
they're
a piece.
decommissioning
they're
the
gonna
plane.
they're gonna take it apart.
Right.
Oh,
So does that mean Iron Maiden's done? They're not touring anymore?
No, it just means the plane's fucking probably 30 years old.
I would like to see this in something like the Tampa Bay Metal Museum, with Dave Allison, Death Metal Dave.
But they're not Tampa.
I know it's not Tampa, but I'm just saying
oh,
something
this is the
like
left
that,
phalanges
right?
off the plane.
Yeah, I would like to see some kind of museum like that. Me personally, I don't care about owning any part of a plane. But
They should
that's
turn the
just me.
plane into a museum.
It's plain to see, right?
Like they do with a lot of warships. They make them
Yeah.
warship museums.
All right, let me read a quick snippet of this. English heavy metal band Iron Maiden once sang, "Bring your daughter to the slaughter." But when it comes to dismantling the band's Boeing 747 tour plane, it's a little more complicated. The German company Aviantag, which Joe, that rapper's killing me. The German.
Joe, he's
Is
just
Joe a
he's
rapper now?
mad
I thought he liked
because
country
he's
music.
messing up and he's blaming you for crinkling.
No, it was definitely the crinkling.
It was not the crinkling. I could barely hear it
No,
of you talking.
Shut up.
That's so funny.
German company Aviantag, which that's a very weird name. Aviation Tag,
Aviation tag.
which specializes
Hog.
in upcycling scrapped airplanes, has created a limited run of one-of-a-kind tags made from the fuselage of Ed Force One, the moniker given to the plane that was served the band since its 2016 Book of Souls World Tour. Now, this must be a different plane, because I remember Iron Maiden flying on a plane way before 2016. So this must be a new plane from 2016. The tail fin was decorated with the image of Eddie, Iron Maiden's zombie-like mascot, but it's now the plane's turn to be dismembered and then resurrected. Each tag, which can be used as a keychain or simply as a collector's item, is made
they're
from the
literally-
plane's white fuselage.
They're cutting it up into small pieces.
Right.
So it's not like you can take.
Candy has an idea.
Okay.
And when my wife has an idea, the
Why is she in
world
the comments?
stops. She did. She did.
They should turn the
No.
airplane into a cafe restaurant. I said
Oh.
a museum.
That'd be a really cool thing, man.
Yeah.
Thailand actually turned one of their old warplanes or whatever into like this thing that you can go into. And so, yeah, that'd be,
Serve some spotted dick.
yeah.
Well, most
Wow.
of the time, what they do with old planes, now this one was only from 2016, so it's not even old. Planes at that age would just be like sold to another.
A lot of
another-
movie
they would
producers
move
rent
around,
them too.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what they do with legit planes that are being decommissioned is they basically disassemble them and they recycle the parts for repairs on other airplanes that they don't want to we're not going to go back to Boeing and ask them to remanufacture a tail wing for this model.
Now,
So they have like 20 of the decommissioned planes that they can basically scrap parts from,
so this is the air tag that they're giving, or the keychain.
Cool.
and
It's
that's
from
made
Ed Force
out of
One.
the frame itself.
Yeah. So basically, it says each tag, which can be used as a keychain or simply as a collector's item, is made from the plane's white fuselage. To create color variations, we also incorporated material from the blue tail fin, which had up to 9 layers of paint applied over time.
Good Lord.
I would want that. The tail
What if you
fin.
can request a certain part of it?
I don't know. I'm
from
sure.
the website.
Yeah. It says they're sized around 1.5 by 3.5 inches. The price point, of
I know
course,
something else that's that.
is
size.
It's like
nod
a wiener
to.
wolf.
So listen to this. The price point, of course, is a nod to 666, and the Iron Maiden hit the number of the beast. A Boeing 747.
How
a
much?
full 71
$66.66.
Yeah, a 71 meters. Blah blah blah.
Euros. I'm sorry.
In theory, Ed Force One could be turned into up to 100,000 tags. Explains Richter, but the price, the preferences is to keep things to a limited run. Aviation Tag has been upcycling aviation material since 2006 and has turned everything from commercial craft like the Airbus A380 to military planes such as the DC-3 Candy Bomber into collector's items.
Candy Bomber.
Hey, yeah.
Jason,
My wife was a
Jason
bomber.
after Taco Bell.
So yeah, there you
man.
go.
You better not be coming to bed like that.
But he did. All right, I'm gonna go pee again.
Yeah, go pee pee.
Discuss.
Lord.
So who wants
Who-
ding dongs, by the way?
I
Me.
do.
Is it ding dong time, guys?
Ding dong. Don't step on my head.
Oh, he did it. He just doesn't listen, does he?
It's like he's never done it before, and it's the first time. Like, he never remembered. I don't know how. It's so difficult.
Take your pills.
Wrong hole every time, right?
Bring your water. Where's the ding-dong, ding-dongs?
Right over here.
Toss them out.
I can't reach them. They're closer to Jason.
I'm getting them out for you. Let's get the ding-dongs, Joe.
Ding-dong, ding-dong.
Ding-dongs.
They're right here. Yeah, I need a High Life. Drinking the Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. I feel like a prince.
Oh, Lisa says that she knows their publicist, Iron Maiden's publicist.
Yeah.
Should I pass the message along about the cafe?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Call him up. Ask him to come on the show.
Right? Request that we get the entire tail fin with the Eddie on it. That's what we want.
Now, I will say that I saw Bruce Dickinson speak at the Tampa Theater a couple of years ago. I think it was me and my friend Paul went, and I think Doug was there with Chris Jericho too.
Okay.
And he's a really good speaker. He's got a really cool story. So speaking of Iron Maiden, I was never like, I always loved Iron Maiden, like the imagery and all that, but I never really dove heavy, no pun intended, but dove heavy into their, that was a bad pun. Shit. I was supposed to laugh at my own jokes. But seriously.
I'm laughing because you said it like flopped.
I know, yeah. Squeaky. No, but I never dove heavy into them, but it doesn't mean I don't like them. So, in any case, ding-dongs are being handed out here now. We're going to do that.
Hostess.
I got to figure out how to open these things.
Just open
They're
them.
child
School
proof.
for the gifted. I see that. Andrew didn't wash his hands again.
He did not.
Jesus Christ. You motherfuckers.
Oh, man.
Did you sing the happy birthday song in your head twice?
Right?
That's what the sign in the office says.
Did you see the...
I sung the I'm going to wipe my hands on Joe's face twice.
Oh, yeah.
There's a new video, because you know how with... what was the movie? The Office, where they had the episode where they were teaching them CPR, and they were using the Bee Gees song "Staying Alive" as the rhythm for doing the chest compressions.
There you go.
So a nurse I just saw it today. A nurse created a video.
I got fucking diabetes and you want to eat me fucking...
That's true. So I'm
Donuts.
trying to kill Joe.
Stop fucking giving me that shit.
He's got diarrhea?
He got diabetes.
Oh, no, diarrhea. Sorry,
Yeah.
Joe.
But there's
I
a
shake
nurse.
my head no twice and he's still trying to push it on.
Well,
nurse came
no
out
means yes with you.
Okay, no one
So-
cares to save anybody's life.
Sorry, Laura.
No, you're fine.
But
It's okay.
I'm just frustrated that he don't want to listen to me.
Oh,
When I say no twice,
don't say that, Joe.
staying alive. Keep going.
All right, y'all listen to our ASMR wrappers being unwrapped. We're going to unwrap Hostess ding-dongs while I take my medication.
The hostess of the mostest.
I thought the ding dongs were the ones that were more shaped like Twinkies that were chocolate.
Like ding dong.
Those are ho-hos.
Ho hos. Okay.
Yeah, she saw ho-ho. I think my wife saw ho-hos as well. She thought ding-dongs would be more funny for the show.
Well, I guess I can't talk or ask anybody questions for the next minute
The little cream filled.
because we're all going to have our mouths full of
Yum.
ding-dongs.
You can eat around the sides first if you want and save the middle for last.
No, I just take one big fucking bite.
Such a
That's
nibbler.
not the proper way to do it.
Not.
Joe, since you're not biting into a ding-dong,
Yeah.
do you want to take control and talk?
About
to
what?
their- to our
What's the
audience?
next topic?
How is it so hard to eat a ding dong and talk at the same time?
So,
Mouthful of ding-dongs.
did you ever use 23andMe?
No.
Are you worried about your DNA or somebody else's
I did
DNA?
Ancestry DNA.
Oh, you did?
Ancestry
Okay,
DNA. Yeah.
so you're still kind of in the same boat.
Yep.
So 23andMe is going bankrupt. They're probably going to sell the company.
Chapter
or
11, though.
Whatever.
They're
So I need to
restructuring.
delete that app then, is what you're saying?
It's not about the
Did
app.
you-
The point is that they already have
They're trying to
people's
sell
DNA
DNA.
info.
Yeah.
But it's not just the fact that they have your DNA, but they have information that was screened from your DNA profile, such as, oh, you have this. Well, you're at risk for diabetes. You're at risk for heart disease. You're at risk for this. So the risk that people are worried about is that the information contained in there would be sold to an insurance company who's going to deny your claim because you have a pre-existing condition, or they might charge you higher rates because you have this.
Like they saw
Or
that
they
you
might
had.
try to market certain things to you because you have certain conditions.
So they're going to sell the DNA with the person's
Well,
name?
no. The point is that people are worried that now that the company is having problems, that may happen. And if someone else buys out the company or they sell the information or what, you don't know what can happen in the future. So, I mean, there's some agreements that the company promises not to release it and not to sell it.
So let me ask you
this. You
this.
don't know what they're going to do once they're out of business.
So when you ran your DNA with them and they saw that you had ED,
Well,
did they?
I mean, that's self-reported usually, but okay.
But it could be in your DNA.
Yeah, I know.
Are they denying your claim on medication in the future, or what are they doing?
Well, right now they can't because the insurance companies aren't supposed to have access to things like that. But you know, there's a lot of debates on, you know, law enforcement having access to those genealogy websites. And
Put your hands up. We know you got ED.
Not that they have it directly, but what they can do is they can go and put in, you know, rape kits and say, oh, well, we'll get a familial match. Oh, your cousin. We find someone that's a first cousin of the DNA profile, and
I feel like they should do that anyway.
I'm
sorry, but if you raped somebody, you murdered somebody, and your cousin wants to go send their DNA in to find out their ancestry, by all means.
All right, Narky.
No, I mean,
no. You want to rape somebody? Okay, sure. You held up a liquor store, nobody died. Don't waste resources on, you know. But if it is a serious crime with bodily injury to somebody else,
if you drown a dog in an airplane bathroom,
yes,
that's
okay,
they
should use it for that too.
Let's. I mean, yeah, let's put this DNA thing aside because I think it's a bullshit conversation. We're not going to get anything good out of it. Let's go and complain about these dog people.
Yeah.
We have 2 in the same week.
What should happen?
Where's the other one? I only heard of the Orlando
We have
one.
2 in the same
One
week,
was
and Drew's
local.
going to talk about it next too.
One was local.
So the woman goes to get on a plane in
I heard that
Orlando,
one.
and they tell her you don't have the right paperwork to bring the dog on the plane for you. Now, granted, it wasn't a dog she just got a week earlier. She's had the dog for several years. The neighbor says, oh, we see her out. She walks the dog all the time. She's very friendly. Her and the dog, they're inseparable. Okay, she goes to get on the plane. They don't let her on the plane because she doesn't have the right paperwork. So rather than call your friend, call your sister.
That's a significant amount of
Rather than call your friend, call your sister and say,
Or
hey,
just leave the dog alive,
Can you pick up the dog? She goes into the bathroom, drowns the dog, and then gets on the plane.
In the toilet.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Fucking
Now,
That
you
is fucked
said
up,
just
dude,
leave
yeah.
the dog. There was the other one, I think it was Colorado or something, 2 years ago, where they went to get on the plane. They couldn't get on with the dog, so they went outside, they tied the dog to a pole, and they left.
Right, people do
I mean,
that.
that was fucked up, too.
It's fucked up, but at least
But
you're
this
not
is
killing
worse.
the dog.
This
right.
was even worse.
At least that dog will get adopted.
Now, within the same week, we have the one over here in Tampa where the guy set the dog on fire before crashing on the Courtney Campbell like 2 days ago.
Oh my God, I did hear about that.
This is
I forgot
why
about
our
it.
fucking people are fucked up.
There was another report of a local, I think it was Florida, maybe even like local here, where a guy, cops got called, whatever. They go and they find this guy. He hung 2 dogs from his backyard, a tree in his backyard.
Now, this is
All right.
domestic terrorism.
Hang on.
Yes.
Here we go. Let's at least play what we're going.
All right.
Setting his dog on fire and causing a crash that shut down the Courtney Campbell Causeway.
This was Sunday
Tampa
night.
Police were called about a fire when they found a dead dog. Police then found 43-year-old Jason Larson about 30 minutes later standing on the ledge of the causeway with his car crashed nearby. Police say Larson stated that he killed his dog and was armed and wanted to harm himself. The causeway was shut down for hours as officers negotiated with him.
No.
He was eventually taken into custody on animal cruelty charges. The causeway reopened around midnight.
So this was at like 7:30 on Sunday. I was on the Courtney Campbell about an hour before that.
Oh my God.
And I said to Chrissy, I was like, it's a good thing we left when we did because I didn't hit traffic. An hour later, the whole thing was shut down. We would have been stuck in that traffic.
So this brings us to our next conversation.
About why we should execute people in our country?
No. Should mental institutions be reopened? Because
Yes, but I
here's
think they
the problem.
should have a higher, like, they should watch them better than they did before.
What do you mean?
Like, before you had either the state-run facilities or you had, like, charter.
They're going to
which
be
was-
state-run no matter what.
Or they had charter, which was like, you
or
know.
federal. They're-
Pay, but there should be more.
right now, there's only private.
regulations in
Right
place
now,
for
there's
it.
only private mental institutions, and you have to pay or have insurance to get your family members into those institutions.
Which means the people that need it's not going to go.
Right. And you have a lot of these homeless people. They're 100% mentally ill, and they need a place to live, and they're not provided that because nobody's paying
They're
for
not going
that.
to function in society.
So
yeah.
this is just my opinion. Instead of giving billions of dollars to another country, let's put that in our own country and
Right.
maybe support some of our veterans, because 90% of them are veterans, and we need to get them in a home and get them help.
I don't think 90% of them are
It's a
veterans, but I think a
very
very
high,
large
very
percentage
high.
is.
Very high percentage.
I'm with you. Yeah, I never understood why we give people money to come in and then send money out, but we have so much here, so many people here that they could use the help. And it's like we talked about treason earlier. I mean, what the hell? Like, why are we giving all this money everywhere
There's
else?
absolutely
everybody
no
else?
reason why a person that serves this country should be living on the streets.
Yep.
Period. And I don't care what political party you're part of. That should never happen. Nobody should agree with that.
It would be cheaper to buy every veteran a house for $150,000 per veteran.
Which can't buy a house for that. But
well, I mean,
okay, I get what
some
you're saying.
places you can.
You can get a company
And
that
they-
makes them on
yeah.
at cost or something.
You can build a community of 300
Like Habitat for
300
Humanity
community-
kind of stuff.
300 townhouses or whatever, and they could
So
make
you're gonna
it.
have 300
rather-
mentally ill combat
No,
veterans
no.
living together in one
I'm
community.
just saying for veterans in general before they get to that stage of mental decline.
People,
But also, too, when you get, I think that if you have people that have been through the same things, living closer together, they kind of feel like it's family again.
Yeah.
At least that's how my thinking would be. I don't know.
not,
So I think that would
They
help.
need-
but
they-
also,
they
too, I
look
think
for
it would
structure. They look
it
for
would almost-
camaraderie.
it would almost be like setting up like.
Do you understand?
Can I?
Go ahead. I'm just.
It's like setting up an ALF, so like an assisted living. Like for elderly people, they don't necessarily need round the clock care, but they're all within one area, so they do have nurses that are around and this, that, the other. So it kind of could be like the same thing
Yeah.
where they have a facility where they have like an on-call therapist or doctor or whatever to help out the people that are living in their community. And then they're not on the streets. They're living together. They're sharing stories and they're bonding, and they have their friendships there. But they also have the medical attention if they need it.
Well, that makes sense.
Not all of them are mental issues, but some of them are just homeless.
Right. Some of them are just homeless. Some of them actually
And-
have disabilities that they got from their service that they could help with those kinds of things.
I think they want to be. They might want to be. I could be wrong, but they might want to be around each other. Like you're talking about, like if you look at places like the Villages, for example, right in Ocala. I mean,
Well,
it's the most
people love each other.
Exactly, look, and they don't want to be around a
They
bunch
love
of
each other very well.
right. So they don't want to be around a bunch of teenagers causing problems and kids, whining and all that shit. Right? They want to be just around each other. There's the same mindset and that sort of thing. So I get that. I think the details could probably be figured out later, but I think probably something needs to be done. And let's stop sending money there and stop giving money to people coming over, and let's take care of our own type of thing and solve our own problems. And then if we have
Yeah,
some
but
left over, then maybe we can start helping others.
But
right?
do you think that, I'm not saying I agree, but do you think some of that goes a little too far into socialism? Because you're giving
That's-
away money to people that,
That's a good question.
that's what I'm not saying I agree with. I'm just saying
No, I
you're
understand.
edging on
Yeah.
on the thoughts of giving people stuff for free.
Well, I mean, in a veteran's case, maybe that's
No,
been earned,
they
right?
earned it, but,
No, but I know that's a great question. It's a good topic because, I'm not. Being on YouTube, I get to talk to people around the world. So, like, cut the news out for a minute, and I get to talk to people that actually live in other countries, and they can tell me some love it where they live, some don't, and this is why, and so forth. So I get to have this wealth of information from people who actually live it. So I can tell you most people that live in socialist countries, it's, healthcare, for example, it's quote unquote free if you want to wait 6 to 8 months to go see a doctor for something, right? So that's the caveat that you're not told. But no, I see what you're saying.
Is that an issue because nobody wants to be a doctor and there's shortage of doctors because they don't get paid enough?
Well, that could be the case too, Joe. That could very well be the case. I don't know that deep into it, to be honest with you, but no, you bring a good point. So I think it goes back to forcing people to do something, right? So we have enough money. If we didn't send so much money out and didn't waste so much money, I think we have enough money to take care of those who are in need, and everyone else can maybe go to work and not have to pay so much in taxes. We're taxed to death in this country. I think that's a no-brainer. I mean, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. We're taxed out of our ass, like left and right. It's almost criminal how we're taxed, if you think about it from every angle. But I think there'd be enough in the pot to take care of the small percentage that might be.
You could
need,
spend
right?
what we spent on COVID and take care of every veteran that is on the streets.
There we go.
You know, and there was so much fraud in COVID. So many people paid that should not have been paid
And they're
during
still
COVID.
and they're still like investigating.
Oh, they are.
Cases
and
now.
and that's what they're saying is they're following the money trails and, you know, whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, I definitely agree that money spent on the vet. You should never sign up to fight for your country and be left homeless. That to me is just the most ridiculous.
Oh, on camera.
Oh, sorry.
You're picking your nose, Joe. That's why. So
Joe knows.
but yeah, I mean, that's kind of, you know, it's a topic we were going to talk about anyways, but they kind of railed right into it. Mental institutions, I think we definitely need them back open to care for people on the streets, and why people are going to fight for it. I guess in the 50s, 60s, 70s, I think the 60s is when they were technically abolished. I could be wrong about that. Maybe it was the 70s, but they were being abused. People in those institutions were being abused, and it was like, oh, you know, where do you weigh in and say, okay, well, we need to just cut this because every story we hear is about a person being abused in that situation. So,
I mean, maybe we should call it something else too, you know, because when people hear mental institution, they're like, okay, I'm not going to the loony bin. But I think
even Anthrax, it's a madhouse. You know, like they had a whole fucking video about how, you know, the mentality of it is. But even that was the 80s, you know, when it was more of a privately funded situation. But I don't know. It's a sticky situation.
It is, man.
All right, China versus Canada. Do you know why Canada is mad at China?
I know nothing about this one.
Canada is mad at China?
Yeah.
I thought they should be friends now that they both have a common enemy.
Yeah, I thought they hated the U.S.
The enemy of your enemy is your friend.
Eh?
Eh?
Nope.
Oh.
All right, so.
Yeah, I'm a little annoyed with going to war with China now. No, I mean going to war with Canada. Like, why are we pissing them off? They don't even bother us.
All right, so China executed. Oh, they're gonna make me do this.
Oh.
Rejected the cookies. That's all you had to do. Click it again.
Yeah,
You guys want more cookies? Is that what you want?
No.
So
Cookie.
Ottawa condemns Chinese execution of 4 Canadians. So China executed 4 Canadians.
What for?
Drugs.
Okay.
And here's the problem with these countries like China and North Korea and Russia. When they accuse you of something, they don't need
done, dude.
evidence. They don't need
Right,
evidence.
there's no
bro.
due
It's like,
process.
It's like you did this. Okay, well, like
Yeah, but they
Saudi
should do that shit
Arabia.
here.
No.
If they did
bro,
that shit here, people would stop doing it.
What do you mean? Oh, well,
Like,
I mean,
right now, people get away with so much stuff
But we
because they
have-
know there's a small percentage chance of you getting caught, and then even if you get caught, there's an even smaller percent chance of you getting convicted, and then even if you get convicted, there's an even smaller percent chance of you being executed. So that's
Well,
the reason why people keep murdering
we
people.
don't execute people for drug possession,
Anything.
or anything like that, right? So China does. So
You know what?
March 19th.
China's got the right idea.
Canada-
Were they guilty of it, though?
Canada said on Wednesday that China had executed 4 Canadian citizens on drug smuggling charges earlier this year and strongly condemned Beijing's use of the death penalty. Foreign Minister Melanie Joly told reporters that all 4 had been dual citizens and said Ottawa would ask for leniency for other Canadians facing the same fate. There are 4 Canadians that have been executed, and therefore we are strongly condemning what happened. She added that 4 had been convicted on drug charges. Separately, the Canadian Foreign Ministry said that Robert Schillingberg, a Canadian man sentenced to death in 2019 for drug smuggling, had not been executed yet. Canada-China ties have been icy since 2018 when Ming Wanzhou, chief financial officer of Chinese telecoms firm Huawei, was detained. Huawei, thank you, Joe, was detained in Vancouver at Washington's request. China arrested 2 Canadians shortly after. Ming and the Canadian duo were released in 2021. So the basics are, so people, all you hear in the news is bullshit about the United States and Canada. Canada or Beijing has tariffs on Canada, 2.6 billion worth of agriculture, food products, retaliating against levies. Ottawa slapped a Chinese electric vehicle and steel aluminum product tariff on China last year. Combating drug-related offenses is a shared responsibility of all countries. China Foreign Ministry spokesperson said on Thursday, yada, yada. So here's the thing. All you hear about in the news is the United States and their issues. Other countries have issues. China seems to be pissing a lot of people off.
They always did.
Right. So why don't we hear about it? Like, this is like a short article. I'm not sure how many people got like this notice and news. It wasn't in the national news.
You probably won't hear about it again in weeks to come. It'll be gone.
Right. So I think Trump's problem with Canada was they were allowing a lot of people through their border and not being very strict on allowing people to leave Canada into the United States, where you go into Canada, you can't even go to Canada if you've been convicted of a DUI.
Wow. They
have a very, very strict policy on entering Canada, but they allow people to come into the United States who have questionable backgrounds. But
yeah, but that's not them. It's not their responsibility who leaves. It's their responsibility who comes in. We don't care. We don't care who smuggles out of the U.S. into Mexico, do we?
Joe, if somebody comes into the United States from Mexico, yes, they care. If somebody comes into the United States from Canada, yes, they care.
Do we care who smuggles out of the U.S. into another country?
There's not been a lot of reports of people smuggling in Canada.
Because we don't care. If you want to leave, go.
Right.
Why would Canadians care who leave Canada?
I agree with that, but Canada, what I'm saying is Canada has a much more strict policy on entry than the United States.
And that's our fault. That's not theirs.
Right.
Yeah, so they're doing the right thing.
Okay, but people, so if Trump, from the 2016 Trump, had Canada's border policy, people would have screamed racist.
Yeah.
Because that's what started this whole thing. If you remember, everybody loved Trump when he was a Democrat. He had the same policies. If you go back and you listen to his interviews from 2005 and even in the 90s, his policies that he talked about on Oprah and all these shows,
when him and Hillary were
exactly, yes, they are the exact same policies that he is doing and talking about right now. And people loved him. But when he started running for president and he started talking about shutting down the border and walls against Mexico, he was immediately labeled a racist, and every Democrat in the world turned against him because they found out he was running as a Republican. They thought he was going to run as a Democrat. He ran as a Republican, and they immediately turned against him. But obviously, every country in the world has strict border policies, and now even Bernie Sanders is turning around and saying, "Well, yeah, we need strict border policies."
I didn't know that. That's a shocker.
He literally said we need strict border policies. He said that this week, and it's common sense. Barack Obama had strict border policies. He deported much more people than anybody, so it is what it is.
Just
people name things that they want to name. And that's the term of Trump's, I guess, demise was racist, call him this, that, whatever. So that's what stuck. And that's what they used against him in the 2016 election. So anyhow, Canada and China are now at odds because of this.
Okay, is that the end of the segment?
Are you leaving?
I'm out. Who's taking over? Who wants the video control?
Jason does.
I guess I'm going to walk up. I thought Laura was staying for another hour till 11:30.
No way. Oh, sick.
Now that she's leaving, can we do the stuff that we couldn't do while she was here?
Yep.
I guess.
Move, Simon. Good night, all.
Bye. It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Did you take your phone with you?
I did.
Okay.
I need a beer.
Yeah, grab you. You want the same one?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Sniff, dude.
No.
Are you going to reset your audio again?
I mean, I can.
I mean, you already did another hour.
All right. What are you looking at? Oh, the Reese's?
Reese's.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
All right. We're going to, if you're streaming with us, stay on.
Do not go.
Do not go anywhere. We're going to end the audio version of this for our guys watching and our ladies watching or listening on the audio version of our podcast. So hang tight. We're going to get to segment 3 in just a second.
Look at the new Laura.
All right. We are back. Segment 3. We have a new Laura sitting in the seat. Her name is Bald Jessica.
Yeah, right here. Bald Eagle. It's a pretty cool spot. I kind of like it.
I know, but now I have to fuck with the audio because you talk much deeper
crap.
than Laura,
All right.
and I gotta.
He's gonna
fuck
rub
with
your
shit.
leg.
I'll stay back about right here, so it's not so
Yeah,
loud.
you're okay. I just gotta reduce the lows.
I kind of like it here
Increase the high.
because my viewpoint, I get the V in the background, the Kerry King
It's true.
guitar, got the Jackson back there, and did you want to sniff some of this, dude?
No, that stuff's strong, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy strong.
Take a hit, man.
Take a hit, dude. Now, Jason, you have to be responsible for the comments because I cannot see our comments.
I think most of our viewers have left. They're
No,
not
they have
commenting
not. We
anymore.
have everybody back in.
Kyle, where did Kyle go? Where did Lisa go? I don't know if Candy's still watching. Riff with Cliff. I know he's got a baby at home, you know.
We have 7 concurrent viewers, so keep in. We're gonna have 100 by the end of the night.
Yeah.
It's all good. I'll see how we do that. Let me see the analytics. Yeah, I mean we have a good viewing tonight.
Analytics. It's like eating the Angus
analytics,
burger.
yeah.
Anus burger.
It's all right. We'll get off the. We'll get off our list, and maybe we'll go into the rabbit hole here in a minute. So, Jason, it says we're in Mercury retrograde. Do you ever pay attention to that stuff?
I have no idea what that is.
No
dude.
idea what that is.
That means
I'm
it's
lost.
rotating in the opposite direction.
So, that's astrology, right, Joe?
Yep.
Okay.
Mercury is a planet.
Right.
It's the closest one to the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And when it rotates, and it rotates in a different direction as opposed to the way the Earth is moving, it's in retrograde.
What's another planet close to Mercury, Joe?
Uranus.
Okay.
I know that's what you're looking for.
So
The answer is actually Venus. But
we'll be short on this topic, but it says that relationships
Yeah.
struggle
Yep.
during the Mercury retrograde.
I think that's just dumb. But that's just me. And I believe in all that starlight stuff and
You do?
weird, and
What's
out
wrong
there.
with you?
Yeah, I know. A lot's wrong with me, Joe. Anyway, let's go ahead.
Yeah. I'm just questioning if people are having problems in their relationship. Could it be Mercury in retrograde? Just
I
throwing
think
it out there. I know a lot of people right now who are having problems in their relationship. And for whatever reason,
It's because they got married.
they're all married. It's true.
I mean, this is just me. I can't speak for everybody. I think if you have problems in your relationships and that's just what you're choosing to have, I mean, and it goes a little bit deeper than that because you can't control what the other person does or how they think, but it might have just been you chose the wrong partner. Maybe you need to choose a different type of person, or it might be something that I need to change to attract the right type of person I really want, that sort of thing. I don't know. It's just my 2 cents.
Okay. Joe, do you agree?
I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention to him.
Okay.
Seriously, Joe.
All right, Joe, if you were to go rob a convenience store, what is the
Hypothetically.
weapon of choice?
Seriously, I'd like to go in with a big ass motherfucking dog and be like, psh, You know,
What kind of dog?
one of those big fucking Neapolitan Mastiffs that's like 300 pounds.
Okay. Jason, what would you use?
Dude, I mean, I'd probably say, hey man, can I have that thing? And they'd be like, yeah, take it, dude.
He would sneak out.
He would use a Buddha mind trick. Hey, I'm in need and I'm really hungry. Can I have that pastry?
That's literally probably what I'd want to do, and just sit there and chat with them and offer them a beer or something. Of course, I'm broke, so I can't afford a beer, right? But
It's his own beer that you stole from the case.
But not all robbers are broke. Some do it just because they want that extra lick. You know, it's like they could have 50 million in the bank and they're like, you know what? I'm going to go after another million. You know,
it's a good point. I'm just more, I guess, I'm more passive and just like, let's sit down and have a coffee or a beer or a coffee porter. It would be even better. Mix the two, right? But, and that works out. That's always worked out well for me, not as far as like stealing shit. But I mean, that's just, that philosophy has worked out well for me.
So I talked to Joe briefly about this before the show started.
Python, dude.
Robbed at Fang Point. Python welding thieves snatch $400 in CBD oil from Tennessee gas station. So they allegedly stormed into the gas station outside Memphis, Tennessee, welding pythons, the snake, not their arms, like Jason, at Fang Point. The pythons are
give me the stuff or I'm going to have him bite you.
So they come into this gas station with snakes. They stole $400 worth of CBD oil. Now police are looking for
It could be like 2 vials.
I don't know. Now police are looking for suspects who were equipped in a manner rarely seen to pull off the robbery, while those working at the store grapple with the stick-ups fallout. 2 brothers working at the store when the robbery occurred early in March more recently said they felt threatened by the 4 robbers they encountered who had snakes with them. They were just waving them around and putting them in the counter. Employee Muhar Raval said one person brought in one snake first, and then after that, he brought in another snake. Surveillance footage released by the local police department shows one man holding a curled up snake in his hands over the counter, while another snake appears to be twisted in another man's hand. I think they planned to successfully come here and rob the store, Ravel said. The snake is a weapon, you know. It is unclear if police agreed with Ravel that the group was planning to use the snakes as weapons. Nonetheless, in certain circumstances, authorities can treat a stick-up as a case of armed robbery as long as victims believe their attackers are toting weapons. That concept is also often seen in cases in which robbers indicate they have a gun, such as by putting their empty hand in their pockets while saying they are armed and demanding valuables.
It's not necessarily the item, it's the threat.
But would you be threatened by a python? Now, pythons are not venomous. I'm not going to say you as a store clerk need to identify the snake and be like, dude, that's not a venomous snake. I'm not giving you shit.
Yeah, but it could still fucking
squeeze you to death.
Bite you, or it could still
can't bite you. It's not going to do anything. Pythons they're not biting snake.
But I think the average person probably doesn't know that. They see a big ass snake, they get freaked out. Some people see dogs and they get freaked out. It could be like Simon, he's gonna just hug you to death. But some people can see Simon as like, oh, that's a threat, you know. Uh-oh. Okay. Yeah. Too close to the mic.
No, I need to put you closer.
No, closer to the mic.
Yep.
There we go.
But yeah, I wouldn't personally be scared of a snake. And if they brought a snake in, it was like maybe. But if it was just like, what's up, dude?
Lisa asks, is this a bonus boot or bang?
No. Unfortunately, we didn't get a good photo.
I can show you what we have. This is our show camera 8.
But I think Lisa has to like judge, and she has to like say yes or no first, right?
Well, she can, but boot or bang, Lisa. I have two bad images. There you go. Those are your robbers.
Thank you.
Now you have the store clerk looking at his phone. Like, here's the problem.
He's trying to take a picture.
He's like, yeah. I don't even believe this dude. Like, he's got a snake there, which you can't really see. He's like hovering it over the counter. This guy's got a snake in his other hand. Like, I I don't see the robbery aspect. I mean, obviously they ask for money, but
And that's a python?
they're very light colored pythons.
I mean, it might be a albino, like
Maybe.
Burmese python,
But I just don't see it.
That's not one that's going to attack people very often. I mean, that's going to eat a rat.
But how would you know that? How would you know that if you're
Well,
not a
because
snake
the science class in junior high.
Right, but like people like
Yeah.
me skipped that class, or we did something else.
That's the one that's going to eat a rat, or it's going to eat like a small bunny.
Well, pythons, big pythons, ball pythons, they'll squeeze you to death.
Yeah.
That's why they go down to the Everglades and they hunt them.
It's like a giant hug.
They're known to squeeze a deer to death.
Yeah.
You've even seen pythons challenge alligators.
Dude.
But yeah, I mean, I personally would not be threatened by that. So
I mean, if it was being aggressive towards you, yeah, that thing's gonna fucking do some damage.
but it wasn't.
But
I mean,
but not if the guy's walking around holding it, it's not an aggressive snake.
no.
I would hit that guy in the head with a fucking beer bottle.
My thing is just don't rob or don't act like you're going to rob. Just don't do dumb shit, and then the world's a little bit better off, right?
Yeah, we can eliminate a shitload of problems in our country if people would stop doing crime. I mean, they're forced errors. Like, we literally don't need that shit.
Yeah.
Like car accidents, I understand accidents happen.
Yeah.
You don't mean to do it. But these things are intentionally done, which could be easily changed if people would just make better decisions.
Do you believe that Florida?
I believe the children are our future.
Do you believe that Florida vehicles need a license plate on the front of their vehicle?
No.
There is a bill.
There are some states that have them on the front and some that only have them on the back. And in the states that do have them on the front, they argue that they were trying to take them off the front, and the argument is, oh well, it's convenient to have them on the front because we can scan the plates easier and we can catch people and catch criminals, and because we have more access to scan.
Here's the problem to begin with. License plates, the technology is non-existent, and it's from the fucking 1920s.
Correct.
So if they really wanted to
put an RFID chip in every license
make
plate,
them
then you're done.
readable, put a QR code on a license plate,
There you go.
Put an RFID chip in every license plate, and then it scans you every time you go through a toll plaza.
But they're saying that actually they have them secretly implanted in license plates, and we don't know it. But that's a whole different conspiracy theory. But there is a law, SB 92, that has been introduced into the Florida State Senate, license plates on the front of Florida cars. So Floridians will need to buy and install license plates on the front of their vehicles as well as the rear if a proposal passes the Florida legislature. The bill, SB 92, also called the Lily Globach, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, the Lily Globach Act, after 13-year-old Sarasota County girl was killed in a hit and run, seeks to help law enforcement with hit-and-run investigations by requiring auto repair shops to collect and submit crash reports before repairing cars. All right, so this goes into a little more detail,
I can see
but
part of that, but what does that have to do with the plates, though?
nothing. So here's the problem with this bill. Hit and runs, they will not convict you or file charges if they do not see the driver. So if Jason's driving in his car and hits me and speeds off, and I call the cops,
they found the car. But
they found the car.
They can't tell you that Jason was
and I
driving
say,
and not me.
I didn't see the driver, case closed. They might call the owner of the car and be like, hey, man, who was driving your car? And Jason goes, case closed. They're not doing shit with that. Now, if it's a more serious crash where somebody's killed and there's it gives them maybe some more evidence to go by where they're just not doing a single interview. Like, okay, now they're going to go impound the vehicle, collect DNA, do this shit. I can see it maybe providing a little more evidence, but it's still it's letting you find the car. Okay. That's what it's trying to do. It's like, okay, sometimes a camera will say, okay, we got the front of the car, we didn't get the back of the car. Now they're saying, well, if there was a license plate on the front of the car, we could identify it. And that's what they're saying, is that there's times where a car is on camera from the front view, not the back view, and they can't identify the vehicle. Again, it still causes the problem of identifying the driver. And that's more of the issue because in court cases, you got to identify the driver.
And if you think about the states throughout our country, we have 50 states. I think only, and you can correct me because I'm not exactly sure, I think it's something like 11 only have front plates.
Right. Okay. I don't know the stats on that.
I think it might be 11 or 12. I'm not sure.
Does your car have a place for a front license plate?
Most of them have a place where you can mount it. And when you buy a car in Florida, they usually give you the front plate mounting device. So my wife just bought a car a few months ago, and I have the front plate mount.
It was like a month ago.
Yeah, in January.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 months ago. Okay. So they give you the front plate mount because it comes with every car. And because we don't use front plates in Florida, they give it to you in the car. It's in the trunk. And I have it in the garage. So, like, I can put it on the car if I wanted to.
Or you can put a stylish...
Because if you move to New York,
sexy tag that says Joe is awesome.
New York, California, Illinois, there's a handful of states that have the front plate requirement. They have to give you in order for you to have a place to put it.
So, question for that, and actually, Candy just brought this up. Are Floridians going to have to pay extra for that, or since it's a mandate, or if it's going to be a mandate? Let's say it's a mandate. Well, that sounds much better, Drew.
A little bit, right?
Dude, Joe, do I sound more sexy now?
Yeah, I had to add more. Add that deepness back to your voice. I subtracted too much.
Oh, yeah.
I apologize.
Well, you'd have to first get the device to attach it to your car, and then you'd have to pay for the second plate.
But will the Floridian have to pay for that since it's a mandate now?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's the question, because if you're saying we have to do
so
this
right now
whether or not they charge you for the plate is debatable, because maybe they won't charge you for the plate, but you'd have to pay for the bracket.
It's Florida. They're definitely charging you for the plate. So right now a plate I think is like $118 or something around there. So you're gonna get hit with two of those, yeah, for sure. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, we have enough laws. I'm not saying I'm pro or against, but it's just one of those things to where it's like.
Now, the other part of that, when you were talking about repair shops having to report and collect certain information, is that similar to like you go to an ER and they have a mandatory reporting requirement if you show up with a gunshot?
Mm-hmm. That law is already in place.
I understand. I'm just thinking like I'm not saying I agree or I disagree, but if someone shows up with car damage, are they required to report it?
Yes, that's been a law.
It is?
Yes.
So then what's different?
Nothing. They're literally, the only thing that's changing is they want the front plate to identify.
I thought you said something about if a person shows up, they have to mandatory to require certain.
That's a current law.
Okay, so then I thought that was part of the proposal in what you had said.
That's a current law.
Okay, no problem.
So is there a database that goes into like, hey, okay, I get we're a car repair shop.
No, it's not a database.
It goes into Carfax.
You're Carlos. You work on cars. A car comes in that has a gunshot on the door.
Okay, something suspicious.
You're required to call the cops and say, hey, this guy's asking me to fix his car. It's got a gunshot, what looks to be a gunshot.
Okay, so if this is like an obvious suspicion. Now, Candy makes a good point here about well, now you have to have a tag on the front of the plate. It's a money grab, like most things.
Of course, yeah.
Right? So
for sure.
There we go.
For sure. But, again, if you can't identify the driver, that's more the whole issue. Because, I mean, I got a lot of friends that hit and run on motorcycles. Mm. They can't identify who hit them. And they're like, well, what can you do? Well, even if they track the car, they find a car somewhere. Okay, the car's here, but they have an owner. They don't, maybe they question the owner of the car. And the owner's like, my cousin used it. My brother used it. My niece used it. I don't know. Then they're fucked. They're not going to be able to get it.
I will be corrected. This website says as of a few weeks ago, there's 29 states that have front plates.
Okay.
I thought it was 12, but it says 29.
I was, I mean, I've heard all kinds of stats on that. I was even told that Florida was only 2 states that didn't have it. No. So, I mean,
obviously, it's 21 states that don't have front plates. So, I was watching a TV show called Leverage, and obviously it's filmed in California, but they were supposedly in South Florida, in Miami at the time, and you see the guy get pulled over by a cop, and you see the camera angle showing the front of the car, and it's got a Florida license plate on it. And I'm like, well, anyone from Florida would know that that's not true because Florida doesn't have a front plate.
Right.
But they had a front plate on the car with a legit Florida license plate to make it look like they were in Florida. And I'm like, I caught you. You made a mistake.
Bunch of fucking pussies.
What? The hell was that?
I think Drew's got to go. I think it's pee-pee time for Drew. I'm not sure.
Well,
Joe's chugging a Miller Lite over there.
no, it's Miller High Life.
Oh, sorry, Miller High. Okay,
High
gotcha,
Life.
gotcha.
It's the champagne of beers.
I just can't do it, man.
I didn't ask you to.
I know. I'm glad you didn't, because whenever I switched over to craft beer, I made a promise to myself I'd only drink, good beer. I know that's, questionable, but I mean, yeah, none of that.
All right, what's the next topic? We got a lot of topics to get through still.
Well, I think we're getting down to migrant kid scandals, recurring dreams, and then you can hear Drew stream his
I don't know
live
what that
streaming right now. So let's see if Drew washes his hands. That's what we're going to...
Again? We just went through this an hour ago.
I know, but I mean...
It's not funny anymore.
It's not about being funny. It's about, is it happening or is it not?
Let him do. He never. All these years he never did. Why should he start now?
There's the point of Joe, the mind of Joe. But yeah, I think we're talking about the migrant kid scandal. I'm
not familiar with this one.
I'm not familiar with a lot of these. I don't keep up.
I had like 20 articles from the last 3 weeks, but by now it's all old news. Because we missed we didn't get through so much work
Joe, do you want to
material.
wipe
No,
my hands on you again?
no, go away.
All right, guys, Drew is coming back to the show now. He has washed his hands thoroughly. He's rubbing them on everyone, and I can even smell the soap, so I think he legit washed his hands this time. But yeah, I think we got migrant kid scandals here coming up next. Ooh.
Well, I mean, that is it's a big story. And again, our show tries not to be overly political.
Yeah.
But when you see something that is as crazy as this, it's kind of hard not to talk about it.
Well, I'm not familiar with the topic, so why don't you give us the short version?
I'm trying. I'm just pulling it up before we.
Those are Asian doctors.
Well, while you're pulling that up,
I'm pulling it up. I just pulled it up.
okay,
Slow down.
just don't pull
All
it
right.
out.
So, Texas nonprofit housing migrant kids took $3 billion in grants from the Biden administration and boosted executive salaries up to 139% before Trump pulling the plug. Now, again, you can say this is a Doge initiative and people are yelling and screaming about Doge and all this. I will say Doge is doing some good. They're probably being a little extreme on some actions. But my understanding is things that they've been extreme on, they're pulling the plug, reviewing them, and then reinitiating after a review. So that, as it is, there is a Doge site anybody can go to and see what they're claiming that they've recovered. And people can be pro and con against what Doge is doing. This one, though, seemed legit, and that's why I wanted to bring it up. So the biggest housing provider for unaccompanied migrant children nabbed billions of dollars in grants from the Biden administration and used the massive windfall to boost and even double some executive salaries, according to tax filings. Southwest Key Programs pulled down roughly $3 billion in federal taxpayer funds between fiscal years 21 and 24, according to data compiled by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, to help shelter-in-place migrant kids with the U.S. sponsors as border crossings hit an all-time high. Over roughly the same period, the Austin, Texas-based nonprofit higher-ups also raked in much higher take-home pay. The group's president disclosed a whopping 139% increase in the filing of taxes last year. So at the same time, Southwest Key was hit with investigations and a federal lawsuit that alleged that some migrant kids in its care were sexually abused by employees or else handed over to traffickers. Now that one, I'm still trying to really grasp how this works. because that has been kind of a claim over the last 4 years, 5 years, even that even the Pizzagate thing, that the conspiracy theory about that, where you had kids being handed over to traffickers and people coming across the border, and they were adult males with toddlers with them, claiming they were their kids where they weren't their kids. And after they got over the border, they were handing over the toddlers to traffickers. Very confusing. A lot of conspiracy theories and whatnots about that. But it seems in some cases that this is actually happening. So I'm just curious how this ties into it. So Anselmo Villarreal, who became the group's president and CEO in February of 2021, was paid $491,000 over the course of the first fiscal year, but saw his compensation skyrocket to $1,174,000 by fiscal 2023. Other Southwest Key executives, including Chief Human Resources official Jose Davila and its Chief Information Officer Andy Harper, saw their salaries doubled to the $600,000 range. So the story goes into a lot of people they work for that have their salaries listed: $583,000, $312,000, $555,000. All this is listed here.
I make that much.
We're not all you, Joe.
I'm just kidding. I don't.
Can we just go back to the origin of the problem, though? Like, you going back to whoever the president of whatever country is, putting that country first. Why do we have, if we have so many issues in America, why are we even worried about times. Right? Why are we worried about anything outside of America if we have our own problems that we need to handle first? That's a legit question.
Well, let's just assume they got busier and they got whatever. They justified their salaries. Like, let's assume they had justified their pay raises. In the grand scheme of things, even the amount that they're listing, $3 billion, people will say, well, that's a drop in the bucket, not much money. So
is there something going on outside?
It's the cats fighting.
Okay.
They don't fight. They just holler at each other.
Okay.
So Biden's Homeland Security doled out roughly half of the $6 billion in taxpayer funding to the nonprofit. Nonprofit's been around since 2003, but the cash infusion didn't improve outcomes for the children in its care. The Justice Department sued Southwest Key Programs last July, accusing some supervisors and employees of severe and pervasive rape and sex abuse of kids between 2015 and 2023. Now, here's what I'm confused about. The Justice Department can go after you criminally. Why are they just suing them? Like, suing is civil. Like, when you hear they're suing somebody, like the Justice Department suing a company for sex abuse, why don't you fucking go arrest some people? If you have enough to sue somebody, now I know the standards within a civil lawsuit and a criminal lawsuit are different, okay? Criminal lawsuit, you need without a doubt. Civil lawsuit, you need propensity, probability, blah, blah, blah. Different standards, but if they have enough, this is between 2015 and 2023. So this isn't just a Biden thing. This is a,
was through the whole Trump
and this thing's been around for a while. Why not go after them criminally? Congressional investigations had also uncovered evidence that the organization placed the migrant kids who entered the U.S. with unvetted sponsors who allegedly trafficked and exploited them. Not only did the Biden-Harris administration create the worst border crisis in American history, obviously this is the New York Post that published this article, so maybe it's a little biased. I don't know. But they're basically saying that it empowered opportunistic nonprofits like Southwest Key Programs and its endeavors to profit off of it. So this article, it goes on, but man, it's like, same thing with the Epstein list. It's like, I understand that it takes a lot to go through 30, 20 years of video and evidence, and the Trump administration is saying, oh, well, we're going to release it and we're going to Pam Bondi. We're going to go after these people. Kash Patel. We're going to go after these people. it could take them 2 years to even go through the files, because just like the JFK files they just released, they found out that releasing those documents without really going through them, now they're getting backlash because Social Security numbers were released in those documents. Sensitive information was released in those documents. They didn't go through them and vet them. And there's like 80,000 pages of documents. And obviously they didn't go through them. They just released them. If they did that with the Epstein files, trust me, shit would hit the fan. There would be, I think, a lot of issues involved with that. So now they're going through 20 plus years of video and evidence, gigs and gigs of hard drives. It's going to take a long time for them to go through that and release it.
Well,
But
JFK was 1963, so you're already talking over 60 years ago.
But there's people suing now because their Social Security numbers were released in those files. And they're stating that they did not have permission to provide their confidential information within those documents.
Okay.
Now, the documents that were released had redactions, had tons of redactions. And a lot of those documents have been previously released times and times before. But there were documents that were released that had personal and confidential information in them that probably should have been redacted. So I think, but either way, going back to this situation, when you have an investigation like something like this, it makes you think, like, who knew about it? How did it go on? You have kids being sex trafficked and trafficked for whatever reasons. There were rumors during the Biden administration that over 350,000 kids had been misplaced, which I always scratch my head at. I'm like, how do you misplace 350,000 kids? That number is nuts. I didn't necessarily believe it. There weren't a lot of facts behind it.
It's typical these days.
Right. Exactly.
They just throw out random things and just hope that people change people's opinions, even if they can't back it up with information. And
I have a very keen intuition on looking and recognizing, looking at and recognizing propaganda, and that just seemed like a propagandist kind of tool that was thrown out all the time.
It's like the millions of dead people that are voting.
Well, yeah. I mean,
there's just millions of them.
So, but this shit, obviously, the DOJ is filing lawsuits, so it happened. I just don't know why they're not filing charges. It's just one of those things. It's like, okay, you have something like this that's this big, it's involving kids.
Maybe there's no there's no way to prove any of it.
I mean, if you're filing a lawsuit, you can halfway prove it. That's kind of what they say in civil law. It's like, if you can 100% prove something, you can file a criminal lawsuit. If you can halfway prove it, you can file a civil lawsuit. That's kind of the way the difference between civil and criminal works. But again, you have jury trials that the jury usually can be involved.
Is that why OJ got convicted on civil,
right,
and not criminal?
Yep, exactly.
Wrongful death.
Yep, and that happens all the time.
He was not guilty, but he still got guilty on wrongful death.
Absolutely, that's why that happens.
I don't agree with that, by the way. I mean, not that I don't think he did it, but after seeing some of those things, I think his son did it.
There's books out now that
possibly his son did it. He was
yeah.
letting people blame him, just not to say nothing. But
right.
Regardless, if he did get found not guilty on a criminal trial, like double jeopardy is.
It's not. That's what they're saying, though. It's not double jeopardy if you go civil versus criminal.
But how is it not? It's for the same occurrence. Like, it's for the same thing.
Just a different court, different system.
I think I disagree. I think that should have, I mean, again, you can't get him with one, you get him with the other, but he got off. So I don't think they should have been able to go after him for civil. But
what are the comments saying, Jason?
Lisa said that, going back probably 2 minutes ago, one of the people, and we're referring to the people that their information was released, okay, one of the people whose info was released works for Trump. I don't know where that came from, or if that's...
if it were related to the JFK investigation that literally happened 1963, which is 62 years ago. Mm-hmm. So anyone involved had to be a minimum of 21 years old, right? So now they got to be at least 85, 84, 85.
Well, everybody who has looked at the documents and given any amount of time to them, which I have not, saying it's a big nothing burger. Like all these conspiracy theories
they're not going to find
that have been
anything.
spewed out over the last 50 years are kind of dull and non-existent. So
unless they look at page like 14,611 and say on there, oh, we actually found out that the mob hired a hitman and he's the one who actually did
no,
the
but
shooting.
what actually
they're not gonna find anything
they're
valuable.
not, but what they're showing on some of the documents is that the FBI had like proof, for example, that an actor went to Cuba and spent time with Fidel Castro for a week or two, and for whatever reason, like they are starting to like accuse various Hollywood elites back in the day of being like undercover Fidel Castro informants and shit like that, which it's not directly related to JFK.
What does that have to do?
But for whatever reason, it was in the JFK files. So
Okay.
there was one document released about like some Jewish mandate about not going to war, and the United States government guaranteed the Jewish, I don't know what it is, forgive me for my ignorance, the Jewish community that they would not be drafted, like things like that, where it was like there was some statement that was involving like we guarantee that the brothers or the sons of our Jewish comrades or whatever they call it would not be drafted into the wars and things like little things like that, which are being like scrutinized. But again, is it related to JFK? No. It's just, why was it thrown in the case file? I have no idea. So stupid things like that. I don't know.
Well, a question to
It's all
ask
big
too
nothing burgers.
was, and I don't know my history on this, but from what the little I do know, didn't JFK want to decrease big government and bring down the Fed? So I think anytime, and I'm not saying this is or isn't the reason this happened, but anytime you're trying to bring people that are making a lot of money, you're trying to bring them down, well, yeah, you're going to have a hit on you. So.
Right. And again, there's nothing that I've seen that gives the reason why or anything like that. So, I mean, that's a speculation. Yes, that's been one. There's a lot to do also with JFK's brother, Bobby Kennedy, trying to bring down the mob. There's a lot of conspiracy theories. Marilyn Monroe, being involved. Like, that's been the conspiracy theories for years. I haven't seen anything, which is kind of weird. I haven't seen anything published from these 80,000 pages relating to Marilyn Monroe and her death investigation.
Couldn't they upload this to AI?
Well, it's online. It's on the archives.
Let ChatGPT find out
That's
who
what I'm
the killer
saying.
was.
Upload it and then.
That's not a bad idea. Like, you upload the case file and let the
surprised we haven't done
AI
that yet. Yeah.
tell you who the killer is.
It probably can't I don't think it can read scans.
Well, it can read a lot of shit.
But maybe.
I mean, they have OCR readers.
You can give it access to your Google document. You can share the link, like let the link be shared with anyone in a Google Doc, and let ChatGPT run through it. Actually, it's reviewing a document of mine right now for an ebook, just to correct errors and such. So you could like mirror that image into a Google Doc. I mean, it'll take some time to do that, I'm sure, and then have AI go through that and give certain commands. And
we've had OCR capabilities 25 years ago, 30 years ago. It's basically the computer can read an image and convert it into text.
Right.
Like, that's been out there for a long time. So for it not to have it now, that would be surprising. But yeah, they can do that. But
I'm officially logged in from my phone now, so I'm going to try to read chats from the phone.
We don't have anything new.
Yeah, I know.
Lisa's last comment there.
I just want to let people know.
ooh.
I think everybody's sleeping.
Yeah, everybody's nighttime, so
It's all right.
Joe's night.
We're almost done. So I just wanted to give a couple more. We're at 38 minutes on our second episode, so we'll
Third episode.
So Joe, did you know that there was a population miscalculation?
I heard you say that earlier, but I wasn't aware of that article.
Okay. We want to talk about that. Let me find it.
I know the last episode estimate I heard was like 7.5 billion or something, but I don't know what you're at now.
Now, if you go to they don't exist anymore, but the Georgia Guidestones that got blown up about a year or so ago, and I did a video on this, by the way. I think their little rules for the new like post-apocalyptic thing was 500 million people. The Earth shouldn't be populated with more than that amount, and it had some things about doing away with useless politicians and useless leaders that just kind of like what we have now. A lot of things on the Guidestones. It's pretty interesting. Not saying I agree or disagree, but
So who stays?
well, this is post-apocalyptic, so it's meaning you're not going to allow the population to get over a certain amount at that point. So it's not about killing off people. This is, again, post-apocalyptic, meaning we had a big world war. There's only a few people left, however many that is, and this is what we can get it to sustain. I don't agree or disagree, whatever. It's just,
So 500 million?
I think it was 500 million is what the Georgia Guidestone said.
We have 350 million in our country now.
Post-apocalyptic.
I'm just thinking if you try to figure out how many that would be, that's like, that's half of China. Actually less than half because they have 1.2 billion. I think India has 1.1 billion. So that would be half of India.
Well, you're going by the old stats.
All right, so what are the new stats? Go ahead.
Well, let me read it.
Go ahead.
And I don't really understand what they're talking about here with the dams, but maybe you can enlighten me, Joe.
Okay.
I'll be
All
there.
right. It says, and these are,
Damn you, Kenny.
There's 3 highlighted areas before the actual story. So I'm going to go over those first.
8.2.
It says, while most estimates place the current human population at around 8.2 billion, a new study suggests we might be vastly underrepresenting rural areas. By analyzing 300 rural dam projects across 35 countries, researchers from Aalto University in Finland found a discrepancy among these independent population counts and other population data gathered between 1975 and 2010. That's old shit. That's 75 to 2010.
I was born in 75, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the use of computers, the use of
Okay.
like, analytical software, it's
maybe let's read it.
dramatically changed.
Such underreporting could have consequences in terms of resource allocation within a country, but other experts remain skeptical that decades of population counting could be off by such a wide margin. So, Homo sapiens is the most successful mammals and species in Earth history, and it's not even close. The species thrives on nearly every continent in a variety of adverse conditions and outnumbers the second place contender, the rat. There's more rats than humans, Joe.
No, it says outnumbers them.
I don't know. It says second place contender, the rat. So they're right below us,
Which means we have more than they do.
just by a millisecond.
Could the
Just
rats
a few.
take over like rats and AI team up?
It says,
and we're
however,
done?
a new study suggests that
We have
impressive
opposable
nature
thumbs.
of humanity's proliferation may have been vastly underreported. Most estimates place Earth's human population at around 8.2 billion, but Joseas Ritter, a postdoctoral researcher at Aalto University in Finland and lead author of the study published in the journal Nature Communications, claims that these estimates could be underrepresented rural areas by a significant margin. So I just want to fast forward this article.
Have AI read it for you.
I know. We are surprised to find that the actual population living in rural areas is much higher than the global population data indicates. Depending on the database or the data set, rural populations have been underestimated in between 53% to 84% over the period studies, and said the results are remarkable as these data sets have been used in thousands of studies and extensively support decision makings, yet their accuracy has not been systematically evaluated. I saw it in here. I want to say when dams are built, large areas are flooded and people need to be relocated. The relocated population is usually counted precisely because dam companies pay compensation to those affected. Unlike global population data sets, such local impact statements provide comprehensive on-the-ground population counts that are not skewed by administrative boundaries. We then combine these with spatial information from satellite imagery. So are they looking at us from satellites like little people?
I think so, dude. Yeah. We're being watched.
I'm nervous.
Google Earth.
But after all this, I don't see a number that he's projecting us to be at. I thought it was there.
It might be just, putting an article out there to put
It's
another
saying
article out there. You know
when
what I mean?
trying to count such massive population, a few hundred or maybe even a few thousand may slip through the cracks. That doesn't seem like a lot.
No.
Out of 8.2 billion? But a few million or even billion would upend our understanding of human occupation in the planet. I don't know. This seems like a nothing burger story.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it might be trash.
It sounds a litto flaccid to me.
it's popular mechanics. Like, I thought that they would have like some
Flaccid
more
wiener.
data. I wanted to say like,
Some hard data, right?
actually, we have 30 billion people or something. Like, I wanted like it to give me something here, but
Yeah, I think
I don't get it.
Whoever wrote this kind of needs to start over again and get some data, get some facts, or at least pretend to have some facts and throw it in there, right?
Okay, but why would this is there's a group of people who want the Earth to appear to be overpopulated.
Sure.
And it seems like one of those stories where it's like an attention-getting story. It got my attention where it's like, oh, the Earth, they underestimated. Oh, we have a lot more people than expected.
Oh, how many?
Right. It doesn't say. It's like,
It's like when you're having a really good date, but you still go home with blue balls.
Oh, Joe, no.
story of my life. No, a little disappointed.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's like a wiener grab, but psych,
pretty much.
One peepee touch.
Is Candy demanding you go home yet?
Yeah, she's probably getting ready for bed. I'm phasing
Yeah,
out
almost
too.
there. I get it. Okay,
That's just the old man in me.
it's all right. We actually covered a lot of this pamphlet.
We did, dude.
Okay.
Can you show that?
We have a
look
lot
at
of
this.
check marks that we went through on the pamphlet, so we're actually knocking this out pretty well.
Yeah, we did good.
Now, last week's no pamphlet. Week before, we didn't get to anything. It's Will James on the show, and he started talking about
This is the Will Show, right? Yeah.
Metallica verse
Van Halen, Van Hagar versus
Van Hagar versus
yeah. David Lee Roth.
we started going off on tangents.
And that kind of was interesting, though.
Yeah,
I getting into that part of it. Some of that was interesting,
but we didn't get on anything on the pamphlet.
I got about 20 articles for the last like 2 or 3 weeks, but half of them are old news by now, but still things that we've never talked about, but too much for today.
I agree.
Yeah.
So last story, and then we're going to call it.
I gave my baby.
I gave my baby an unusual name, but I'm appalled at my nurse's reaction to it. So a mother in the UK has ripped into a nurse for failing to mask her disgust after learning her baby's unusual name. Unfortunately, her sympathy plea divided viewers, with some even claiming that her daughter had a dog's name. The mom, Lucy, said she was in the hospital waiting room ahead of the blood test when the nurse approached her and started fawning over her baby girl. She was like, "Oh my God, look at her. She's beautiful. How old is she?" recounted the Brit. However, the amicable encounter went south after the medic asked the baby's name. And Lucy replied she was called Monty.
You're doxing, dude.
Now, for those who don't know, I own a Dachshund named Monty.
Yeah.
And Monty is an ass biter. He's bitten Joe's ass before.
Now, Monty is normally short for Montgomery. I'm trying to think of a female that it would be short for.
No, I can't name it.
Probably none.
Okay.
Yep. Upon hearing her response, the
Did you say
nurse...
she was British? I'm
Yep,
just
this is
thinking
from
if
the
there's
UK.
Any different types of slang that they have
No,
over
but
there?
I'm going to continue
Okay.
because she releases some of her other kid names here.
Okay.
Monty.
Upon hearing her response, the nurse pulled a disgusted face and uttered, "Ugh," recalled the parent, who felt like the medical practitioner's bedside manner left something to be desired. I do understand that obviously Monty is like a bit of a different name, but you would not give a poker face, Splutter, the appalled momfluencer. I just feel like if somebody told me their child's name, like actually told me their name, I'd just be like, oh, that's beautiful. Lovely. What a different name. So Lucy said she was thankful that the Killjoy clinician didn't find out that her 2 other children were called. God forbid she ever found out I've got a daughter called Dusty and my son's called Wallace, said the TikToker. Can you imagine? Monty's actually the most normal out of all of them. So, Joe, Bang Monty, like, is that a good, I don't mind it. Like, honestly, if I went to Hooters and I saw a waitress and she said, you know, what's up, beer? But my name's Monty. I don't think it would like cause me to collapse. I'd just be like, that's my dog's name. I would assume it was a nickname though.
Yeah, I would too. But it just doesn't evoke pretty thoughts.
No?
No. I mean, I think of like Monty Burns.
I think Monty Python.
Yeah. that
Which is
too.
what Monty's actually named after.
But I think of like, you know, The Simpsons and Montgomery Burns. Mr. Burns, his name is Monty.
Mm-hmm.
But
But if, let's say,
I mean, if you had a son and you called him Monty, like as a nickname, I mean, people would think, oh, that's okay.
right.
I mean, we're not trying to say, you know, male names and female names are not allowed because some things are different based on country. Like Ashley is popular as a male name over in Ireland. You know, things are, you know, just different over in different countries.
That's a cool name for a dude. I'll tell you just a very short story. When I was in, I think, 6th grade, there was this real cool dude named Ashley. He had long hair. He wore Poison shirts and Bon Jovi and Iron Maiden, whatever. And I idolized him because he was so cool, and his name was Ashley. But anyway, yeah.
And I know a guy named Andrea. Yeah. It goes by Andy for short, but Andrea is a female name here, whereas where he's from is a male
All right,
name.
but let's say that there was.
So that's nothing wrong with that per se.
No, but let's say that there was a James Bond villain.
Yo.
I mean, Monty sounds like a Bond villain name,
right?
You know?
But let's say it was a female
Odd Job
that was sexy or not or whatever, but gave you that name, Monty, and you thought female from the 70s, like, or 80s.
If that's what's in your head, yeah. Okay.
You know, it's kind of like a band name. Okay, so when you hear the band name Slayer, like, I don't think of somebody going around slaying people as a Slayer.
Yeah.
I just think of the band Slayer. Like, that name has been implanted into my head
Metal.
as a band. Like, it no longer means like somebody slaying. It means a band. And when I think of Slayer, I think of a band. Yeah, Shmoo's up there. So I think if you put a name into use, that name becomes defined as what it's used as. Yeah, now she's going to scratch all the fucking...
She's going to scratch the
Smack that butt.
Shmoo is scratching the furniture over here.
Yeah. That's why I do not let them in the studio. So, I don't know. I just think that...
I agree. You know, maybe it's just different in different countries. She can pick whatever she wants for her kids. But the nurse has the right to her own opinion. And whether she wasn't polite enough, so what? You don't like it, whatever. Okay. They're like, oh, is my baby cute? No, your baby's not cute. Okay, well, you asked. Like, otherwise, you know, you keep it to yourself. I mean, I'm sure she didn't come out and say, oh my God, that's a horrible name. She probably just like, okay, let me walk away.
Probably.
You know?
It was the look.
And then the woman like blew it out of proportion because she wanted content.
Probably.
Like obviously you pick an unusual name because you want to evoke like people's opinions.
I think you just
so you have situations that you can make content after.
Right.
And that's the story with a lot of things going on today. You've got to make a headline. Let's make something. Let's get the clicks, and that's
look at Trump. Not Trump. Look at Musk. Elon Musk. He's got 13 kids now. Do you see the list of the names of his kids?
Yeah. No, but I can imagine.
I mean, some of them are just as out there as the other one. You know,
Right.
They're weird.
But people forget, and again, it's kind of strange.
Look at Michael Jackson. His kid's
But-
name was Blanket.
Blanket.
People forget Elon Musk has autism.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm just saying, like, he's getting a lot of flack, but the dude does have autism, and he's not exactly like the most personable, like behavioralist type, normalist in the world when it comes to all that. So I don't know. It's funny how people are like, oh,
Just playing devil's advocate, could you imagine if that was switched to the other side?
Oh, it wouldn't. Yeah. I mean,
I imagine what it would be like.
yeah.
Right.
It's like when Trump was talking about the reporter and using his hands.
Oh,
and
I don't know what I said.
causing
Right.
issues with that, but I don't know, man. Stupid politics. All right. We're going to call it a night, y'all. We've been on for 3 hours. We're officially approaching the third hour. I'd like to thank my guest, Jason Stallworth. Check him out at JasonStallworthGuitarAcademy.com. And Pajama Joe, check him out
Just check
in
him
the
out.
South Fork subdivision.
Just come to my garage.
Come to his
I'll show
garage
you
and
my
play
wood.
with his wood.
Just wood, yeah.
I'll show you some wood.
All right. So we're going to end it. We'll be back next week, assuming I don't have another episode.
We may be back before next week.
Good. Joe, I'm honestly open to doing
I got some
two
ideas that
two
we
shows a
gotta
week.
play with.
So we'll figure it out. I'm
That'd be
actually
cool.
open to it. We've got so much content lately. All we do is spew some Drew news. I don't know if I would be drinking on every show. That's the problem is,
It's okay.
I'm thinking about doing some shows where we just drink coffee and hang out because I'm not allowed to drink so much anymore, y'all, if you haven't figured it out. So drinking with Drew is kind of like the night I cheat, and I've had 4 beers and probably shouldn't. So
I'll drink. I'll make you my new drink. What I'm doing every morning after my protein shake, because I'm
some Jason juice.
it's
I heard
pretty much
I heard
Jason juice. It's just raw garlic. As we chop up the garlic, we mince it, we let it sit for 10 minutes to let the allicin form, the enzyme. Then we mix it with a little bit of lemon juice, and then you chug
Asperger's.
it.
Thank you, Lisa.
Pretty much, yeah. And then you chug it. This is tastes like ass, right? Then you chug it down, and then take a teaspoon of honey after that, and that's supposed to have a lot of good benefits to it. So
I agree. I want to try it. No, Lisa was right. Elon Musk has Asperger's, not autism. Same. I mean, it's
we had
on the
burgers
scale.
earlier, but they
It's
were
on the
anus
scale.
burgers, not Asperger's.
I agree. I have a friend that has Asperger's. Very odd in public. I get it. I actually thought I had Asperger's at one point. Still might. I don't know. Anyways,
You're just weird.
I am weird. Yeah, I'm weird. All right. It's the Drinking with Drew show. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to go to the green room, listen to some metal, maybe have another
Ding dong.
ding dong. Ding dong. And we'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in. And we love everybody out there. Thank you for supporting the show. All right, everybody. This has been another episode of the Drinking with Drew show. Check us out every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Spread the word, spread the love. Check us out on all of our socials: Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and Humble Social. Big thank you to our sponsor, InLawWeTrust.com. We'll see you next week.